you!
You're scared. And you should be.
This is not your company anymore.
Leave the cheek of CM Punk.
Out! Combo move! This is what they've been doing! Hey, McAfee!
Everyone shut the up and sit down!
We got a mom in the front row who taught her daughter how to suck dick!
I'm Mina Shirakawa. I used to be a model. I want to put on a big show.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome once again to the Saturday Shenanigans, hosted by yours truly, the Renegade J.J. Williams. Hi, guys. Hi, guys. CM Punk drama bullshit to the side. I still consider Heyman the worst AEW champion they've had. First of all, we're going to bring in Walter Cruz.
I said that as a joke when, what's his name, did his promo Monday. He said, I'm from a prestige university. I said he majored in Steiner, man.
We've got the Heeb man, James Hebert, in the house.
I do really cool and dumb things on the internet.
Right. A lot of shit going on here. A lot of fucking crazy ass shit.
Where is Noah JD? Well, say his name and he appears, because we believe in Noah Foster.
Fuck is this intro? It is one of those things where as fans we do have these desires and what we want to see, but sometimes you can't always get what you want, and there are reasons you truly don't get what you want. I wouldn't even listen to this in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. What the fuck is this shit? God, rapid whack. Like I said, never been a greater time to be a wrestling fan than with more companies in a more lucrative spot, in a more comfortable business spot, in a sense of mind, it seems, than ever. Again, WWE is not the only one. It is not the end-all, be-all. So let's go back to the Renegade Wrestling JJ Williams to get the official word. JJ, speak!
Make sure you tune in every week, because you never know who's going to drop in to join the shenanigans. Catboy is in the house.
Hello, my internet family. I say if you want to make them as evil as possible, make them really mad.
We have Mansfield joining the party now. What is going on, Josh?
Like I told no one when we were in Cleveland, him joining JC was just an unfortunate side effect of my shenanigans towards you, JJ. I know how it can get better, Noah. The panel chooses you.
Shut the fuck up, Josh.
He said that so like. We got some of the intro back. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Just like how you and I had lunch together the other week.
That was different.
Ladies and gentlemen, the King is here. Say his name and he appears. We believe in King A-Train. There are so many believers in Joe Hendry. The only person on this panel that doesn't believe in Joe Hendry is King A-Train. Tell the world why you do not believe in Joe Hendry.
The reason I do not believe Joe Hendry is he is Fandango 2.0 in a entrance merchant. I rest my case, Your Honor.
Hey! There's nothing wrong with being an entrance merchant. He has some of the best entrances of all time.
Teleporting into the command center, all the way from Angel Grove High, Datilla.
Oh, yeah. I went to the command center on Thursday. I went to Vasquez Rocks, which is where they filmed a lot of episodes. Somebody actually climbed to the very top of those rocks. I made it halfway. I was like, I'm not going up there. Definitely Toni Storm versus Mariah May. That's the one match I probably am looking forward to the most. I really like the story. I'm familiar with all about Eve, so if it plays out that way, I kind of know how this is gonna go.
Say goodnight, Datilla.
Good night.
James, you did say his name, so he shall appear, ladies and gentlemen. first time on the Shenanigans. Jeff Meacham is in the motherfucking house.
Ah! All right, we're coming in hard with the botch. All right, fucking hell. It's good to be back. It's good to have an opportunity to talk to the crowd on a Saturday.
If you want to have yourself stomach through it, you can go back and watch when the Main Event Mafia took over Impact. That's what James was talking about.
So if everybody just joined us, we're talking about people sedating people, attempted murder, boys, and tips. Welcome to Saturday Shenanigans, everybody. Aren't you glad I'm back?
Welcome back, Jeff.
Cool. Yeah.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the weekly festivities that are known as the Saturday Shenanigans. I am, of course, your host and moderator, the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams, here this lovely Saturday evening to welcome y'all to the chaos that will ensue. And let's go ahead, let's begin to bring in the panel. First of all, the man who only gives us a certain amount of time every week now, because he has to protect his mentality as well as his voice for being the voice of the network. Simple Man Noah Foster is here. What is going on, Noah?
Not much. Just preparing for church tomorrow and setting my timer as of right now. You got me for about maximum 2.5 hours, and not a whole lot. Been up since 4 a.m., napping in and out. Tired as usual, but that's the story of my life. I'm feeling all right. Let's go ahead and see what tonight brings for the duration that I'm here.
Not a problem. Shout out to everyone already in the chat. Nicholas, Cleaver, Colin Andrews, Safet, of course, and Charles, who calls this the greatest thing on Saturday night, the Shenanigans. I definitely appreciate the high praise. Let's go ahead and bring in the other man who joined us for the watch along that ended just about an hour ago. The reliable one, Walter Cruz, is in the house, still rocking the t-shirt of the man who is numero uno, El Grande Americano. What is up, Walter?
What's going on? How's everybody doing? Whew. Feels like we were just up here.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and bring in the rest of the panel. First of all, let's round out the core four. The He-Man is here. What is going on, James?
My country tears of thee, we went all liberty. Happy Memorial Day weekend, everybody. I am doing good. Busy as all hell as per usual. What else with my schedule? But other than that, pretty good. Pretty good. I do say so myself. So.
Fair enough. Real quick to Emmanuel's question, did they succeed in taking away viewers from AEW? This wasn't the show. Battleground tomorrow is the show.
I think he's
because that's the one that's competing with Double or Nothing. Collision was on Thursday this week.
Yes. Oh, okay.
So there was no competition with AEW tonight.
No.
Last, for now, as I do have it on authority, we do have one more person that'll be popping in at least briefly. But we've got the man with all the stats. Stat Boy Mike is in his house. What is up, Stat Boy?
Hello, what's up? I'll tell you. Stat Girl Dory Lou is excited that her team scored 143 points in one game. Something was lit under the Timberwolves' asses tonight. But I was paying more attention to you guys in Saturday Night Main Event. I was just keeping an eye on the basketball. So it shows where my true family loyalty lies.
You are in the wrong room talking about Minnesota Timberwolves basketball, bro.
Well, I'm sorry, Governor Ventura he was probably a little bit too upset that he couldn't be there to root for his team. So, that's why he's so cranky all the time.
Oh, okay.
The house
looked like he was having a blast in Tampa, Florida.
Oh yeah, he had to go after McAfee like that? Really? No. I'll rant on him later. You go ahead and do your thing.
Okay.
Ranting.
That's a question for James and Walter, because I didn't know there was a UFC show on July 12th, but yeah, there's Saturday night's main event and All In that day. So doing a UFC pay-per-view the same day, that could be problems.
So my thing, we would have to really schedule it. My thing is, I'd love to do it because y'all know me and y'all know the team. More revenue for everybody, and more watch hours is more revenue. More watch hours means you notice us more in some cases, because not all of us do this for the money. Exhibit A, Exhibit B. So it really depends on if we could get everybody here. It would really depend, and let's just cut straight to the chase. If he's free, if Ash is free, and if DJ's free. If we got them three free at the same exact time, then yes, probably more than likely.
We got to see the time. I bet you Saturday Night Live is going to be during the day because of that UFC thing. I bet you it'll be early. I bet you it's going to be like 3 or 4 o'clock.
So chances are maybe we might be able to pull it off, but
Well, they just announced it. I didn't. Did the graphic have the time on it when they announced it? I didn't pay attention.
I think it did. Let me see, because I screenshotted it.
Yes. I mean,
that way I was able to make the women's evolution graphic.
I'm very happy that they're bringing that back. It took them long enough,
right?
Although it's
it's at its normal time, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific.
Okay, so yeah, it's going to be earlier or later depending on. Here's the thing, and we got one more person. Yeah. Fuck me. I will say this. I love how they're doing an Evolution pay-per-view, but yet they release half their women's fucking roster that they're going to use for the pay-per-view.
We'll get into all that. Yeah, we'll get into all that. But first, let's bring in the man who was actually there tonight. Papa Gino's in the house. What is up, bro?
How we doing? Let me get the championship. Thanks for having me on. I'm in my car. I just dropped off Matthew Hostetter at his hotel.
Nice.
Man, guys. I hope you guys could feel the energy through your television screens, because that was just a lot of fun. Just a lot of fun.
Yeah, the crowd seemed like it was really hot.
Yeah, we want them to keep coming back to Tampa. And this is, I'm just going to say it, no offense to anybody. It's in a poorer area of the city than the main Amalie Arena where the Lightning play. So you get people who probably don't usually get to go the 40, because where we are right now is like 45 minutes away from like downtown Tampa, where the rest of the big events usually take place.
Okay.
So I think that the fans, the majority of them, they might have even been their first event. They might not have the opportunity to go. There were a lot of kids. So I think that they were really trying to get as much out of that event as possible. And I think that enhanced the environment, because you go to these places and the crowd's got on their hands for most of the night and they're not really saying anything. It's like, well, why even go? Like, you're just going just to whatever. And like, no, these people wanted to be there. They're WWE fans and they had a blast, and it was amazing.
Good deal.
Yeah, it definitely sounded like a hot crowd. It seemed like the crowd was really into it. You sound like you were into it. You sound like you have almost no voice.
Mm-hmm.
You sound like you're kind of exhausted, like you expelled a lot of energy at the show.
We did. I used to on the review I make fun of Jey Uso for seemingly being winded after yeeting with the crowd, but being there in person with the energy, like, I get it. Like, it takes a lot out of you there, for sure. with the chanting and obviously my voice, it's tough to get chants started from like if you're not on the ground level. But I don't know if you guys heard it during the Sammy match, the Olay chant. That was this guy who started the Olay chant. So pretty proud of that one. Pretty proud of that one. I was like, when do I do it? You can't really do it when he's being beaten down. And he did they did the ropes thing out to the outside. I was like, okay, this is the time where he needs that. And it me and the person behind me started going for it, and it was boom. It was just kind of caught on, and that's always a fun thing to do when you're at a live event.
There you go.
It's always exciting when you can get the crowd chanting something. I don't recall being able to get a WWE crowd chanting anything, but I know that I got an indie crowd once because famously we almost got No DQ destroyed without even knowing about it. They were there filming a UPW show, and it was just after Luther Reigns had been released. And I got the entire crowd chanting, "You were Kurt's bitch. You were Kurt's bitch." And apparently somebody from No DQ was filming as he was coming out, and he smacked the camera out of their hand, broke the camera. Luckily they were able to save the video and everything, but you'll have to get all the deets more from Aaron on Thursday when the review happens. But yeah, I got an entire independent crowd chanting that and almost destroyed No DQ without even knowing it back then because I didn't know them.
He did. I was there. I can confirm that story. Oh yeah.
Fucking hell.
It's a good thing the former Luther Reigns didn't find him. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a renegade right now.
Listen, if he found him, he'd grab him by the throat and just be like, listen, bitch, I have peas 9 days out of the week. I had some peas before.
But so what would you say was the highlight of the night there? For the entire crowd and then for you personally, because I know you've got like legitimate history with the last real champion. So I'm sure that was probably a high point for you.
So I made 4 signs in the parking lot. The "Let's Go Cena" in the same orange color of his shirt for Tampa. I did "I'm from West Newbury, Mass," which I tried to hold up when they announced where he was from. I did the "Cena was my camp counselor" because obviously that's the history, and then I did one that I didn't really get to showcase because the show was so short, but I did "Push Cross." But like I was on the TV hard cam side, so I wasn't getting a lot. But if you guys have ever been to an event, you know that they'll like during the intermissions or whatever, they'll pan the crowd and have them do like the DX stuff, and I was on the camera for the DX chop thing for like the whole arena to see for a significant amount of time, which was a pretty cool highlight. I don't know if any of the live audience got to see that, but it is what it is.
Right.
For me personally, once I saw the Ron Cena shirt at merch, I was like, I think we're going to be in for something special with R-Truth. And he came out as face Cena. And that's probably something that I will remember more than anything else is just, why is Cena coming out before R-Truth? Why is Jey Uso coming out before Logan Paul? And then obviously we got what happened. But seeing R-Truth do the run to the ring with the whole Cena, the salute and everything, like that's all the people on the internet that say R-Truth didn't deserve to have a match against Cena with his limited dates. Like, this is why you do that. This is sports entertainment. And then people are complaining that the match was bad or that R-Truth didn't do enough. Like, the same people that are saying he shouldn't have had the match because he doesn't deserve it were mad that he kind of got squashed. It's like, well, if he's not good enough to earn the match, like, isn't he supposed to get squashed? So, yeah, it was a lot of fun, and 25 years of being a Cena fan, even longer than that from pre-WWE. I'm really glad I was able to get in that arena tonight. It's not the biggest arena, so I'm really glad I was able to get in there tonight.
Right.
It is what it is. Listen, you can't please the IWC. That's what I've learned, Gino. That's why you just ignore these people. These fucking cretins online. A lot of them, anyway. Not all of them, but a lot of them.
I was say, aren't you part of that crowd too? Sometimes, James.
Yeah, but you know me. Like when I say something's good, like I'm a connoisseur like you. I like all the shit, man. I'm a have the whole cake kind of guy. I like the whole buffet of wrestling. You know.
All right,
so,
respect.
like,
Fair enough.
It's
So,
like,
and James is from Boston, by the way. So
yes. Hey, what's up? There you go. Yeah. Oh yeah, so you're from West. You were literally from West Newbury. I've never been there in my life. Is it like
it's a small town? Very small town.
Cena legitimately was his camp counselor, dude.
Was he really?
So
really?
The school that I attended, like the elementary, like K through 12 school, was called John C. Page School, but it wasn't named after John Cena. But it's just funny that it was like it's John C. Page School, and it's like John Cena was the counselor. His mom was my bus driver as well. It's like real small town, and his family owned the best ice cream shop in town, which is right across the street from the high school. So it's like,
is this like right before he broke into the bodybuilding industry?
So he was always like, we would like, I was a kid, so like, forgive me if this sounds like immature or whatever, but we'd always ask him to flex for us and stuff. So he was always a big guy. You didn't want to be on the other side of him playing dodgeball, and back then you used kickballs to play and not these little soft nuggets.
God, don't talk.
Yeah, and he would aim right for the heads, but him and his brother Sean, who we called Booger, like, there's a lot of, he's got 5 siblings, so.
Yeah.
But he disappeared. Like one summer, he just wasn't there. And then I'll never forget, we're just watching wrestling with my 2 brothers and my dad on the bed. And, Kurt Angle's doing his, like, who's got ruthless aggression. And then Cena comes out and it's like, my dad was like, that's your camp. Oh my God. Like, it was just, it's surreal.
That's what started it all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go.
And he would always carry a gallon of water with him wherever he went. And he's an amazing, like, drawer. We'd be like, draw this, draw that. And he would do it, like, with immense detail. Like, he's just talented and he's just a hard worker. And I'll never boo him.
Why have we never seen Cena art now, knowing that fact? That's crazy that he doesn't release some shit.
Yeah, like every day we'd be like, draw this, draw that. I remember I told him to draw me a monkey, and it looked like better than what you'd get from like somebody you paid to do it. And it was just, he's just a lot of fun. And he really does love making children like happy. Like he truly genuinely does that. And it's just,
that's really cool.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you guys this.
Go ahead.
How did it play when he didn't hit R-Truth with the title? Did it maybe seem like, oh, are we maybe going to get the breadcrumbs of a Cena face turn? And then obviously we were in the crowd. We're like, he's going to low blow him as soon as the ref turns his back. But like, I don't know how it played on the screen to you guys.
Yeah, on the television, because Noah and Walter and I were doing a watch long of it. But on television, it was like, okay, mate. Even if this isn't a face turn, maybe there's a little something in Cena that respects Truth.
Yeah.
Because of Truth saying for all this time that, that's his childhood hero. So he's like, he had the belt and he stopped and was like, maybe there's just that little soft spot in Cena's heart that respects Truth.
Nope.
So then, of course, gave the belt away and then bam, Dick Kick City.
It was the only thing that I would have that I thought going in after seeing the Tampa Nightmare shirt was that either we were going to get some type of Cody Rhodes heel turn or he was definitely going to interfere in the Cena Truth match. But I think that the way that they did that, where it was still him against Cena, but in the main event, I think they made the right call, and I'm I'm glad that it's not Travis Scott involved with the tag team match at Money in the Bank, like the rumors were. So,
and that's what I was calling. I was like, dude, look, you've got Truth. Road Dogg is a writer on SmackDown, and Conan is the booker for AAA. So you've literally got in-house the 3 Live crew from TNA. So you put Road Dogg and Truth together for a tag match against Cena and Travis Scott. Conan can manage them, so you get the AAA representation. Put that on Worlds Collide instead of Money in the Bank.
That's a good
Worlds
one.
Collide is where you're going to need to draw the eyes to.
Yeah.
But then they went with the tag match and Money in the Bank. So it was like I was there, tag match that day, just wrong people, wrong show.
Yeah, you wish. Let me ask you, Gino. So
really quickly, James, because Mikey did have his hand up to ask a question.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You can go ahead, Mikey.
Go ahead, Mikey.
I was going to ask the group. I think we're down to like 23 dates or 24 dates. Do you think that Cena's going to finish out his run as a heel, or will there be any chance that they can turn him back face towards the end?
Go ahead, Gino.
So, from what I understand, his final date is in Boston, and he's not going to get booed in Boston.
No way.
He's just not going to. He has been booed in Boston in the past, though. But with his being a final date, whether he's the champion or not, whether they've sown the seeds to a face turn or not, he's going to get a cheered reaction. And I think they're going to book him to kind of go out as a face. But if he ends it as champion, he has to be like heel because he's trying to ruin wrestling. You can't just go from I want to ruin wrestling to. So it's going to be different. But he's just not going to get booed in Boston. And I would imagine if he stays a heel, he's going to turn face in the dark match, right? Like as soon as the show goes off the air, then that's when it's like, hey guys, I appreciate, you letting me be a dickhead to you guys like you were to me all this time, but we have a lot of fun. I'm going to miss you guys, blah, 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 whatever, send off.
Yeah, I'm kind of there with you. The way I have it booked, and I've said this a few times on the air, is that whoever wins the men's Money in the Bank briefcase cashes it in on Cena that night. Let him have his title match. Let him win his title match. And everyone thinks, oh shit, he's actually going to leave with the belt. He's actually going to ruin wrestling. And then here comes the cash in. And Cena's watching the entrance ramp, and the person with the briefcase comes from behind. Cheap shots him, knocks him out, wins the title. That way you can kind of turn him face in the fact that he uses the title, he was cheap shotted, and then he can get on the mic and kind of do what you said and thank the fans and everything.
Yeah.
But that's how I have it fantasy booked, is he holds the title all the way until that night.
All right, so let me ask you guys if you have any more questions for me. It is a decently long drive home. I'm trying to be safe and not drive while doing this. So you guys are all awesome. You're all class acts. Mike, JJ, Noah, Jay Herbert, freaking Walter Cruz. You guys are all the best, and I appreciate you having me on and kind of letting me have the majority of the talking time while I'm here. You guys are the best. Is there anything else that you want to know about what it was like being there live?
I only have a couple things. One, now that you mentioned that he draws a lot of really good art, I'm almost convinced now he designs all of his t-shirts because they were always the best the entire time. Even if you didn't like the shirt and thought it was cheesy, I think they were still well designed. So obviously Cena must have had a hand in that. Secondly, is Wes Newberry as posh as people say?
You kind of have to have a little bit of money.
Yeah,
that's what I thought. Money there, but it's not like it's not like your Ocean View, whatever. It's just really nice houses out in the woods in a river, and Merrimack River kind of runs through the town. But like, it's like one. It's not like 7 different schools. It's like one school, one post office, like one place to go buy Pokemon cards, one place, but not even a Blockbuster to go buy video, to go rent movies, like. It's been a while since I've been there, but yeah, it's a little posh.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, before you take off, Emmanuel did super chat $2, says this is an invite for Gino to appear next week. So apparently the fans love you too, bro. Get home safely. You've got the link. If you want to pop back in once you get home, we're usually on the air for a few hours, man. This isn't the No DQ review where we're in and out in like an hour, hour and a half. The shenanigans tend to go for 3 to 4 hours. So if you still got energy when you get home safe, feel free to pop back in.
It is called the Shenanigans for a reason, my good friend.
Yeah, we go off the rails 5 different ways from Sunday. So,
well, I appreciate that. I will definitely be I will be tuning in while I drive home, but I will be keeping my eyes on the road, of course.
Yes.
And if I can find a quiet corner that won't disturb old girl and my mom there, I would definitely be popping back in to share some more thoughts with you guys. So thank you so much, and I'd be happy to come on whenever you'll have me next week or whatever it is. So
Yeah, you're always
Definitely.
welcome, Gino. Appreciate you.
Be
Always
safe,
welcome,
bro.
brother.
I can't really do the "I love you guys" solo thing because I'm holding it with one hand, but half of it. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Everything. You guys have a great night, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Take it easy,
Bye-bye.
Gino.
Take it
Later.
easy,
Yeah,
Gino.
bro. And then there were 5.
There'll be 6 again later.
Most likely.
Oh, I'm sure,
Well, 5
yeah.
again, no
Because
probably.
our Canadian friend will be joining when she gets off work. So,
You all will probably have more fun with her because, again, I'm beating you all at due in the 2-hour and half-hour mark. So continue.
So that was cool. Gino being able to pop in for a little bit, give us his thoughts on Saturday night's main event tonight. Of course, he's one of the 3 rotating hosts of the No DQ review now. Him, Cleaver, Colin, Andrew, and of course, Virtue.
Hey.
I actually was on the review with him this past week. The first time I was on a Gino hosted panel. I've now been on panels hosted by all 3 men.
There you go.
Really cool. Lots of respect for Gino.
Yeah, I like Gino.
He's kind of become the new Mr. Reliable of No DQ since Walter has had so many things going on in his personal life lately. Like Gino's become the new reliable one there. So,
which, by the way, let me just say, glad to see you back, brother.
yes. But stick to your shtick, Gino. That's Walter's shtick, being reliable.
Right?
But anyway, so, okay. So a few days ago, I'm racking my head. I'm like, okay, what are we going to talk about? Because it's been kind of slow lately. Let me try and come up with some stuff to talk about. So I made the graphic, came up with the topics, and then over the last 24, 48 hours, fucking wrestling world has just dropped a plethora of shit in our laps. So it's like, I'm going to try to stick to some of what I already had planned. But of course, we always tell you, the viewers, if you want to dictate the conversation, super chat. So if there's something that has come up in the last few days that isn't on the agenda, super chat, we will talk about it. For example, WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That's not on our agenda because that only happened within the last couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
You want us to talk about WrestleMania being pulled from New Orleans, potentially relocated to Vegas again? Super chat for our thoughts on it. We've got a few different things we're going to talk about. First thing I want to talk about is something that I feel we might be able to get like meaty from Noah. So I want to do this one first for sure before he takes off. And that's Lyra Valkyria. A lot of people in this room and the IWC were really kind of shitting on Lyra prior to WrestleMania because her IC title run is kind of bland, not a whole lot of substance to her character. What is she supposed to be doing? She just felt like she was going through the motions and not really connecting. And then Bayley got taken out. Becky was inserted as her partner at WrestleMania, then turned heel on her the next night. And since then, we've seen like this, to steal the pun of the Valkyrie, almost this rise in character and personality that's come out of her since then. And I want to get everybody's thoughts on this new, I don't even know if you can really call it new, but this evolution of Lyra's character from WrestleMania to now. Because it's been about a month. The women's tag match was April 20th. It's now May 24th. So it's been just a little over a month since Becky inserted herself into Lyra on screen, on Raw. And we've just, like I said, we've seen this metamorphosis almost. Her promo games have gotten better. Her matches have gotten better, if that was possible. There's just something about being connected to Becky that seems to have really lit a fire under Lyra's ass. And I want to get people's thoughts on it. So, Noah, you are first on this one, because I feel like out of all the topics, this is the one we're going to get the most from you on. So please, I want to make sure we get it before you dip out.
I don't talk that much to this. You know that unless I'm doing watch-alongs. But okay, well, you already know how I feel about Lyra Valkyria. I've supported her since Zoey Valkyria at NXT UK. She always had the in-ring acumen to be something big in the wrestling business. But in the world of sports entertainment, still fucking hate that term. And in the world of pop culture, reality-based wrestling content, Netflix might as well be a reality show. Still fucking hate that too. She definitely has found new fire in her. She found that hunger that Rhea Ripley brought back into her when she came into NXT. Back from injury, but it's different here on the main roster where she's been the most effective draft call, not named Braun Breaker, since last year's draft, which has now been literally about a year. Ain't that something? It's one of those things where I think she got the best out of somebody she looked up as a role model. Now she's bringing out the best of herself, saying, I don't have to be like you. I can truly be confident in myself out of looking at her as her enemy. And that was proven the only real potentially competitive match at Backlash. So I think it is something with a newfound self-confidence in her brought out by Becky Lynch from how far she tested her in the ring and tested her mentality. Some people can only click because they relate to pop culture or want something flashy or something they can put on a poster or something that's not related to an actual worthwhile aiming competitor. And that's their own demeanor. But for me, Lyra's always been more of a worthwhile wrestler to watch than Becky Lynch has ever been. That's why I'm always going to be a Jamie Hayter fan too. So I think it just comes down to people finally looking towards Lyra for showing a bit more personality because, truth be told, she probably has been hiding in the shadows behind this character that's clothed more in darkness and mystery and Irish folklore. So, yeah, sometimes it just goes to show that you just got to find that right person that brings out the best in you, not just in the ring, but also can bring out a fire in you, too, because in WWE, you can be a great worker, but more so, you need to be a great promo and somebody marketable if they're going to use you. And so far, they've done that. So kudos to Becky Lynch for doing the work and allowing Lyra Valkyria to become something on her own, if not bringing out something more in her, versus taking everything from her.
Hi, Mikey.
What I'm hearing and what I'm thinking is we've said many times that you can't just throw a talent or throw a story, right at the beginning. You got to let it cook. So that's what Lyra's doing now. She's cooking, and the finished product is going to be a success. The situation with the tag team thing might have been considered a hiccup, but that was, of course, to bring Becky in. So now that I think that this thing is done with, and of course I haven't been really paying much attention to her now. I'm just going off of, what was happening off of WrestleMania. I think she's teaching us all a lesson, and she's throwing out that, let me work on it, I'll get it done, and don't hate on me. That's what I'm hearing right now.
And don't compare me to somebody else. I'm a different person for Pete's fucking sake.
Yeah.
Idiots.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Idiots. Oh, another Becky Lynch. Oh, another Bayley. Oh, another Charlotte Flair. Oh, another Barbie doll. Get the fuck some originality in your freaking wrestling analyzation.
Mm-hmm.
James?
This kind of goes on to the little rant Noah just cut on. But, I'm glad Lyra, out of all the women that we have been worried about, at least got an opportunity with a big star to actually bring out the best out of her. What I will say is this does go to show if WWE actually gives a fuck, they will give you an opportunity.
Right.
So when they release people, do not make excuses for them because it's bullshit. That's really it. Like the thing that aggravates me about it is, if you could do this with Lyra, why the fuck can't you do it with any other woman on your roster? That's what screws me off about it. So like when people go and do these comparison things like Noah is talking about, like, you guys got to criticize the right people, because it sure as hell ain't the workers. It's the writers here that aren't giving them that opportunity. And I know people are going to be like, well, sometimes you're responsible. It's like, no, it ain't that black and white, man. There's a gray area. There is some responsibility. I'm not saying there's none to the competitor, but in a lot of cases, it's like all these people are missing is just an opportunity to show that personality. I'll give a great example, even though he's a controversial thing, right? Brock Lesnar. How long did it fucking take us to see fucking any personality come out of him whatsoever? It took when he went to the UFC and cut a promo about how he's going to drink Coors Light and not Bud Light because they're not paying me nothing, and I'm going to go bang my wife. Like, it took until then, and then he got paired up with Heyman again, got even more of a chance to show his personality, and then it became full circle once he finally broke out on his own. You know, and Heyman separated from him fully. And then we saw Cowboy Brock. I'm just saying, all it takes is one fucking opportunity. You know? Fuck, man. It's just, if nothing else, also, you encourage the talent to be themselves, like Lyra is being herself, just a different version of herself, like we're seeing now, you know? Change a little bit, tweak a little bit here and there, sure. But overall, it's like the best characters in wrestling are themselves turned up to 11. And, you know, when you got a thing like a Taker, that's the exception, folks, not the rule. You know? So just keep that in mind, man. It all it comes down is just the right person and the right opportunity. And, you know, people can have their perceptions change. So when you see what they're doing with Lyra Valkyria, and then you see them release a whole bunch of other women, it's like, you should be asking the question, why? Because you proved you can do it. You proved with Lyra you can fucking do it. So, what the fuck? You know? That's my thoughts on it.
And that's a fair assessment there, James.
Thank you.
Walter, will go to you to bring us home on this one.
I think it has to do a lot with more being comfortable with someone. I think she's just comfortable with Becky Lynch, and she's able to show the best of her. Like, everybody has that person that brings the best out of them, and I think Becky's just able to bring the best out of her, and now it's showing. Now it's, you know, they gave her the ingredients, and she's finally cooking, I think. So it has to do with comfortable. Some people just mix better than others. When you give the person the right opponent, magic happens. It's like Shawn Michaels with The Undertaker. There was just something about it that magic just happens, and now we're getting to see the blossoming of it, and hopefully she keeps on rising after this. But because it did feel a little like the title didn't mean anything for her. Like, she won it and then she defended it, I think, once every other month, and then it wasn't even on pay-per-views. Like, she defended it on a random Raw a few times, and then they'd never let her be on a pay-per-view. So now they finally got the right opponent. They brought new life into it, and they can bring the best out of each other. And hopefully that's what it continues. Like James said, all people need is opportunity. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it seems like it's working here.
Yeah, Jody, don't fuck it up.
Well, unfortunately, you know, they don't have the best track record when it comes to that. So
right, and to add to Walter's point for a second too, it's like, but that's my point, Walter. It's like all you have to do is give them the right opportunity, and you got a whole roster of people you can have an opportunity with. They don't really have many excuses, is my point, to release talent when you have that much talent to work with. That's all I'm saying. I love Lyra, by the way. Good for her. It's not a shot at Lyra. It's just a shot at the management. And
I know.
Accurate.
Well, we got a $5 super chat during all that. Little off topic from Arlene Dominguez is. She said, "Let's get Noah to Vegas so the Dominguez can finally meet him at WrestleMania, if that is in fact where it's going to end up being." Well, in order to do that, we just got to get Walter the subs. What are we at, Walter? 132 still?
Yeah.
So we need to get 68 more subs to Walter. So tell your friends, tell your family, subscribe to Rage of Wrestling. Hell, create burner accounts and subscribe to him.
I don't think we should be encouraging that. I do have a few.
Hey, look. Whatever it takes to get them to WrestleMania. His wife didn't say it had to be brand new, different accounts. She just said 200 subscribers.
This is true.
Look at this man coming up with loopholes. Good grief.
I am the king of loopholes. Ask Statboy.
Every contract has a loophole.
Yep.
By the way, Tubi has Alf, and I know what I'm binge watching from now on.
God damn it!
I will give my brother his flowers right here. At one point, I made a joke about Renegade. Like, he could be in a courtroom and the judge could like call him out on something that was clearly done, and he'll still figure a way to get out of it. That's how much he could loophole out of anything. I mean, it's all true.
So I saw your private comment, Mikey. Yeah, if you want to try to rebut, I assume you're talking about this comment from Nick.
Yeah, let me. It's the second half of that comment that, and don't get me wrong, Nicholas, you're entitled to your opinion and all that, but those blonde, busty, beautiful moments, those are way gone. That hasn't happened since the Attitude Era. Okay, yeah. I mean, look, they've pushed Chelsea, they've pushed Io. They've pushed Rhea. They've pushed. Okay, Tiffany falls into that, but her pushes right now. Tiffany's
very well deserved.
Sorry,
being honest, Tiffany's very well deserved.
Yes,
Tiffany actually
know
has
that.
a proper in-ring regimen as well. So I mean,
they
is absolutely deserved.
You know, they need to start pushing Jade. I'm sorry, I've said that for a while. But
well, she's got a Money in the Bank qualifier next week, so we'll see what happens there.
But yeah, that second half of that comment, you know, I mean, those days are over, brother. Sorry.
I was about to say, have you seen the SmackDown qualifier graphic for next week? It's Nia Jax, Tamina, and Nia Jax, Naomi, and freaking the other one that we just mentioned. So
Jade Cargill, brought to you by Wingstop.
So I hardly doubt that it's just busty blondes, buddy.
Well, no, yeah. but he did say beautiful also, and he says every name you just mentioned is a beautiful woman.
Yeah,
you know it's like blonde isn't the only thing that he's commenting on. I think he missed punctuation there. He's saying blonde, busty, or beautiful. And to his point,
he's not wrong.
Would they push a Piper Niven?
Nope. That's fair. That's all. That's very fair. And then
Nia Jax they push, but she's also part of the Anoa'i family.
Her last name's Johnson, so there you go.
And
hey, Nia's good looking, damn it, in my opinion.
Whatever.
Agreed. But we're going off of the casual fan, the I guess textbook definition of beauty.
This is true.
You know, everybody finds different things beautiful. Walter, you and I find different things from the standard. But to Nick's point, I think, you know, so Rhea's not blonde. She's still busty and beautiful.
This is true.
So Chelsea is a dirty blonde. She's still beautiful. You know, Io may not be blonde, but she's still beautiful. You know, but you look at, like he pointed out, a Piper Niven. or an Alba Fire. They pushed Alba when she was with Isla, but then they released Isla, who fits into that status quo of what Nick was going for. So they even released them. So I kind of get where Nick's coming from to a certain degree. But, you know, it's... And Rhea was blonde when she started her WWE journey.
And she finally became herself, and Rhea Bloody Ripley, and the rest is history.
Yeah. But gone are the days where they're trying to, you know, make relationships with Playboy and sell you calendars. So they're more likely to push the non-standard women now.
But if you look at the more popular women in WWE lore, Sunny, Sable, Trish, Charlotte, Tiffany,
Kelly.
There's a theme here.
Nick has a point, though. At the end of the day, we could say that there's all sorts of diversity in the women, but
Jeff is here.
Hi, Jeff. Well, it's Mikey.
Mikey Meacham.
Mikey Meacham.
There you
go. The problem is they did just release Shayna Baszler, so he kind of has a point.
But they also released Dakota Kai.
This is true. I mean, there's the point is, though, I think
they released Alexa Lopez.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, they don't just release women for the sake of releasing women because of their looks. There's a plethora of other reasons. They're still just as bullshit, but I think beauty is far passe. I think, quite honestly, all the women are beautiful, but there's plenty of beautiful women that are on the WWE roster that kick so much ass it's not even funny. Like, you know what I mean? So, and same goes for a lot of the AEW women, if we're being honest.
A lot of women in wrestling, period.
Yes.
Fair enough.
I mean, that's just how it is. Like, they can kick ass and look good doing it. I mean, it's also no different than in the UFC, too, because there's some beautiful women that Walter and I have called that can kick the shit out of us, and we don't want to fuck with them in a dark alley. I mean, shit. You know, you would want them on your side in case some trouble arises. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit.
Yeah, as much as that joke about Mamacita, I don't want to see the violent side of her.
No. You want to see the violent side from her to defend you, just not against you. So, that's it, you know. Yeah, true. Love me. Hey, listen. Tori was under fucking rated because she actually, out of all the women that was learning on the fucking job, she was not bad in the ring by the end of her fucking run. I'm just gonna say that because that woman got a bad rep. When she joined Paul Heyman's SmackDown and the matches she did have, few and far between, she got a lot fucking better in the ring around that time.
Kelly too, but they only wanted her for the looks, and they threw her in these stupid ass like bra and panty matches. If they had the attitude they had now, Kelly would have been like a real wrestler's wrestler.
Yeah, like fucking Tiffany Stratton is now.
Exactly.
But to be fair, Tiffany and Kelly are like two different people though, because like Tiffany is like a fucking tomboy that's disguised in a Barbie doll's body. Self-admitted by her, not anybody else. Like
this
if
is accurate on interviews. James is actually correct on this. This is the Chris Van Vliet. I even heard Mr. Anderson's interview. By the way, the guy that trained Tiffany Stratton.
Dude, the fact that she is that good looking and she's like a freaking tomboy and likes guy things, I'm like, yeah, all right. Whoever the fuck locks her down is a lucky dude. I'm just saying.
But bottom line,
hold on to counter Nick's point here. A lot of people don't understand how Lyra's fiance got her because of how he looks.
CJ Cleary.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Bottom line for this, we're not going to escape this. It's always going to be like that with women. They're just objectifying. I'm sorry to say. I mean, look how many women are millionaires just because of OnlyFans. That's the perverted world we live in. Like,
poor Jade.
Yeah, and by the way, not for nothing, right? But like that dude is not bad looking. fuck people were on about. It's literally, it's like
it's probably just the way they shot him, the way he showed up to that particular show, because the way he was sitting there, no disrespect, he looked like Mikey.
Yeah, and what's the problem with Mikey? What's the problem?
So for a dude like Mikey, again, no disrespect intended, bro.
None
but for a
taken.
dude like Mikey to pull a chick like Lyra, people are like, what the fuck?
It's doable. It's doable.
Confidence, man. Confidence.
Exactly that. It's confidence. You don't
and
need
to close the book on this topic. It's the confidence of Lyra in herself, not trying to be compared to Becky by the casual, short-sighted folks of the WWE universe. That makes her try and stand out, and hopefully means more to not only her but that championship. But again, don't put more championships in if you're not going to make them mean something. "Quote unquote," Paul Heyman. Move on.
This is true. All I'll say on the topic too, on the subtopic we went on to, it's like just because he has glasses, it's like all these people saw he had glasses, like 4 eyes, and went fucking bullshit with it. Like, come on, this isn't high school, guys.
I just hope they make me care about the titles, because at this point I even forgot who the tag team champions are.
Yep.
What's tag team wrestling? Yeah.
Which
get back to
tag
me on that.
titles?
The
And,
women's.
Nicholas, you're right.
That's Liv and Raquel.
Who gives a fuck?
The
Nicholas,
reason people have forgotten about it is because Liv has been filming that movie, so she hasn't been on TV. And Liv is featured more prominently than Raquel.
Yep.
Even though Raquel's been on TV each week with the title, people don't pay attention to her because they pay attention to Liv, and her booty cheeks hang out of her short shorts.
Anyway, Nicholas, you're part right. At the end of the day, it's both the fans and the product. There's no happy median. They're both at fault. It's just a matter of who takes more responsibility, and WWE has shown a lack of it, quite literally, always.
I mean, I'll be honest. The WWE pushes what the audience is meant to see. So in a way, it's all the company.
At the end of the day, the WWE is a business, and they push what's going to sell.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
If more fans show that they care about the Shayna Baszlers and the Zoey Starks of the world, they'll push them more. But when the fans give Zelina Vega a cricket response and they give Tiffany Stratton a fucking roof blowing off of the fucking building response, what do you think they're going to push?
Good point.
I'm just saying, Zelina Vega came out tonight, your champion, to crickets. Chelsea Green got a bigger pop than she did. And number one, she's the heel.
That don't matter anymore whether you hear her face.
No, but there's a point there. It's like you can go off of looks, you can go off of face heel, you can go off of whatever you want to try to measure it off of. The heel in the match got a bigger pop than your babyface champion. There's a problem there.
See if they fix it. They didn't do it tonight.
They didn't. And we don't know if they will, because everybody fucking loves Chelsea. You know, it could be a sitcom. Everyone loves Chelsea, like everyone loves Raymond. More people love Chelsea than loved Raymond. That's a whole other story.
Mm-hmm. It also probably didn't help that she was so underutilized that, and the fans really wanted to see her, that they just, were demanding to see her. So now they're going against the fucking grain. I'm sure that did not help matters.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, we consume what they give us by choice, but it's what we actually want, that we hunger for, that they're like, if it sells, maybe we'll do it.
Well, no, it's if they deem it worthy of being sold, then they can do
Exactly.
it. Come on. That's all I'm saying, because there's been some fumbles with that mindset. Okay, I'm just saying.
And there still is.
Yep.
It's just like with the men. If you're not 6'5", 250 pounds and jacked, they seem hard to push you. Nowadays, it's become a little, they become better with that. But really, take a look at who really gets the pushes and how many people fall through the crack.
Exactly. Drop a penny, make $1 million.
So that's going to wrap up that topic. We are going to take a brief commercial message now that we actually have watch-along trailers again. And we will be back to engage in our next conversation piece. Don't go anywhere.
And now for a taste of things to come.
Seriously, how did GCW became so prominent here, and why are they making more of these shows too nice? Just to fork more money out of you before these tariffs even fork you to make more money out of you? It's fucking ridiculous. But truly here, we encompass, celebrate, embrace, engage, show our passion, criticize like John Oliver tonight. Oh, the wrestling. And now back to Renegade Wrestling, JJ Williams.
Did I just hear you hating on GCW for having two shows in a weekend?
I'm just really surprised how much you dived into it, and it's a good thing actually. They got some good stuff there. I just recently got done watching a lot of Spring Break, the clusterfuck Bozilla versus Megan Bain. So I mean, there's good stuff there.
Yes,
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like a lot of times we jump into the deep end with some of these things, and like we just add the images to the trailer, and then if something happens and we've got to scrap one, so be it.
Right.
But, as long as the GCW shows are happening on weekends where there's not WWE, TNA, or AEW, then there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to cover them. And James and I have kind of become the de facto team for GCW. So even if there is one of those other things, we've got you and Walter to cover that while James and I do the GC Dub thing.
Yeah, I just like I just like how much GCW is becoming more predominant than any other company. That's brilliant.
It just seems that GCW tends to run twice a month, and when they run 2 shows per weekend.
Yes.
They'll usually do a Saturday, Sunday thing. There's one weekend coming up at the end of July. They got 3 nights in Japan, and then they come and they're doing shows SummerSlam weekend in Jersey. So they're going to be doing like 5 or 6 shows. Or no, it's the end of June, excuse me. Not the end of July. I made that mistake also when I was setting up the trailer originally. But still, like, they've got so much shit on their plate, and I'm thoroughly looking forward to it. The only thing that James seems to not look forward to on a GCW show is Matt Tremont, because that fool has a pus bubble the size of Rhode Island on his forehead.
Yes,
and
it's
all it
gross.
takes is one shot to it,
and he's
he's gushing like a virgin who just got her first period.
It's awful, dude. It's so bad. No, listen. I will say his matches will still gross me out. He won me over with his promos. I will say that much. He actually won me the fuck over with his promo this weekend. So I have turned a corner on Tremont, but he still grosses me out. So I like him. Still a gross motherfucker, though.
Now, you said you watched the spring break?
Yeah, I did watch Spring Break. I also checked out Bloodsport. Really much to kick Natalia's fucking head off.
So I got to ask you then, what did you think of Atticus Cogar versus Fuego del Sol, the match I've been hyping?
It definitely was unique, especially because it was, again, career-threatening. It gave me shades of how personal Tam Nakano and Saya Kamatani was in Stardom. Well, if you haven't watched that yet, it's now on YouTube. You need to. Considering that was literally do or die, literally the end-all for their feud and for one of those two in professional wrestling as well. So it was a unique situation and environment, especially post-match when, again, the mask was left. But we all saw what that led to, I'm just saying. But still, the show and the match itself, that was definitely a unique watch experience.
Definitely. I'm glad you enjoyed that match, because like I said, that is so far my match of the year.
Look, I watch way too much wrestling. I watch more wrestling on that
I
trailer.
know.
Not to mention Pro Wrestling Noah, not to mention New Japan Pro Wrestling Best Super Juniors. That also is on 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time this morning for
Now, if you haven't watched it yet, you need to go watch House of Glory, Indy Hartwell versus Miyu Yamashita.
Oh, I did. Thank you, YouTube.
What did you think of that one?
Oh, I was extremely happy with that. Anytime Yamashita is in the ring, you know you're in for a great striking fest. And again, Indy Hartwell, the heart don't stop, heart don't quit indeed. And now she has another championship. And again, I think that Indy Hartwell fits House of Glory in the style, in the roster, and overall the audience, that reception to her. I honestly think she's got more accomplishment so far in House of Glory than she does in TNA. But again, she just started in TNA. Still weird situation under siege overall. Waiting to see how that plays out shortly.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I'm very happy for Indy Hartwell, and I've enjoyed House of Glory shows and matches. House of Glory has always been one of those promotions I follow to a degree because that's how I learned about Lucha Bros a little bit and Private Party, for example. So, yeah.
Fair enough. I forget which show it was. Maybe James remembers. It was one of the GCW shows that we just did. Miyu Yamashita versus Marcus Mathers. You need to check that one out if you like anytime Miyu steps in the ring, because
whether it's man or woman, she's gonna kick someone's fucking head off. She did
it was an impromptu. It was an impromptu match because they were supposed to have different opponents, and then they ended up getting thrown together because matches got switched. Card subject to change.
As always.
But dude, oh my god!
It was the Maryland show, by the way.
Okay. GCW in Maryland. So again, it'll be on the Triller Plus. You've got access to it.
All right.
The Big Time. That's the one it was. That was the Maryland one. Big Time.
Gotcha. Well, right now, my focus
check
is
that one out.
Pro Wrestling, Best Super Juniors, and Dominion. That's my primary focus, is because we're approaching G1 Climax season, and that's the most important thing of the year for me. So let's fucking go. Anyway, back on to regularly scheduled programming. What's next?
James has his hand up. It looks like he had a question or a comment based off of what we're talking about right now before we get to the next topic.
I was gonna just say this is for Noah to hear. Noah, you are gonna be sorely disappointed in PepsiCo. They have released Hard Mountain Dew, which is like Mike's Hard Lemonade, but Mountain Dew flavored. And in case anybody wanted to try it, they have the regular, Live Wire, Baja Blast, and Code Red.
I guess you could turn anything into alcohol. Then again, Mountain Dew was originally moonshine, so honestly, this doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Well, now you know, folks. Now you know.
And knowing is half the battle.
Yeah, Joe.
Mountain Dew!
Besides, I'm Italian. I'm a wine guy. I drink Villa and Russo if I can get a bottle of it. Then again, I need to go back to that Italian restaurant and sample something else, but that's a whole different conversation.
But
anyway,
yeah,
I just learned something about my brother I didn't know.
Marcus Mathers versus Miyu Yamashita. That's the next one for you to look up. That was fucking solid.
Also, Marcus Mathers versus Lee Moriarty was a banger too. Marcus has been on a fucking roll lately.
Remember what I was saying coming out of Mania a couple years ago about Speedball? You guys were the ones that kind of put me on to Speedball through TNA, but remember how I was talking about him being the MVP coming out of Mania?
Yes.
Marcus Mathers is the one for this year.
Yep. Really?
Yeah.
I have to look at it.
Dude had 12 matches over the course of Mania week, and every match I have seen of him during and since then has just been banger after banger after banger. And he doesn't get the coverage on Evolve that some of the others do. So you really have to make sure you pay attention to him on the indies. But Marcus Mathers is this year's Speedball Mike Bailey for me.
Yeah, fair enough. We're not even halfway through the year, and we're not even halfway through this show. So again,
Almost halfway. I mean, we're just a few days away from June, and June's the halfway point. So,
yeah, that's true. All right, what else is on the docket for right now?
well, let me ask this, Statboy, how much longer do you have?
I would say maybe a couple more segments because the way I'm yawning, I'm going to be crashing by 1 a.m.
Okay, because I did want to do the Sabu thing before he dipped, but I don't. But I want to be able to like bounce back from that. So,
oh yeah, I can talk about Sabu.
Well, but let me. Oh, hold on.
No.
What just happened?
A super chat from Emmanuel.
Oh shit.
How would you book blank woman wrestler who's not featured?
Put him in the tag Intercontinental U.S. division. Thank you. Go ahead, JJ.
So basically, pick a woman that's not featured a lot on TV, and how would you book them?
Yeah.
Dan, you and I literally just had a chat message about women that are unique in their style, in their appeal, in their in-ring acumen that aren't being booked. That would be a roster in their own.
Yes, we did, Noah. Yes, we did. Very much so.
I don't need to say anything else.
Exactly.
Well, I feel like each of us need to give a little something here because Emmanuel is a longtime supporter and he did super chat this.
Well,
but I think James makes a lot of,
sense.
in just in his brief disregarding statement, there's a lot that you could soak in there because all you got to do is take a wrestler. Let's see here. Who's someone that's not being heavily featured right now?
Mm-hmm.
Let's take because she's with this Secret Hervis.
Huh?
I got one.
Piper Niven, out of fire.
Athena. They just kind of disappeared her after that. Like she got featured for the Owen tournament, but before that, if you weren't subscribed to ROH, you wouldn't even know about it.
I said on the Double or Nothing predictions, and I hold to this. They're doing this out of sight, out of mind thing so that when she shows up tomorrow and costs Mercedes the match, it's this big thing because she hasn't been on TV.
And that makes sense because she's not in the Ring of Honor Pure Tournament, unlike Serena Deeb, Deanna Purrazzo, Lyra Valkyria, Queen Aminata, Billy Starks, that's coming to Ring of Honor here shortly.
So Emmanuel says, go with my homegirl, Natalia. Well, for starters, the Intercontinental title is perfect for her because Uncle Brett held it, Uncle Owen held it, Uncle Bulldog held it.
Yep.
So the Intercontinental title has leniency in her family.
There's the word.
So you throw her in that division and you have her go for it.
Yep.
The other thing I would have done is I would have had her beat Kenzie Page for the Burke at the Crockett Cup.
Yes.
Because with Evolution 2 now official, you could have had the NWA Women's Championship on Evolution 2, and you could have had Natalia drop it back to Kenzie. And Kenzie would have been made on a big fucking scale.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or you do a different match. You do one that we all kind of jokingly talked about when we knew she was going over there. You do Natalia versus Natalia Markova. Let Natalia retain. And then at the next big show for NWA, which would be their anniversary show in August, you'll have her drop her back there to whoever is going to be the number one contender. But you put the Burke on Natalia at the Crockett Cup, and then you've got the NWA Women's Championship being featured on Evolution 2. And you're already going to have the WWE Women's Championships. You're already probably going to have the NXT Championship. you're more than likely going to have the Knockouts title. And with them now owing AAA, you have the Reina de Reinas Championship. You put all those titles on Evolution 2, and you've got the Burke. You're talking about a legitimate evolution in the sport and a true forbidden door. No shade intended thrown at Tony Khan.
You're really pushing for WWE to actually book a really great all-women's wrestling show. But
I am, and I think they could do it, and I think Triple H is enough of a fan of the game that he will. Vince wouldn't. Triple H will.
July will prove you wrong or right otherwise. But I will say he definitely has a better respect for women's wrestling than the old man ever did. So I will give you that. As far as book blank woman, I mean, let's see. Natalia's a clear case. I mean, shoot. She's a badass bitch. Respect my legend game on the side of WWE. WWE, I got pinned and I'm no longer going to be in Money in the Bank. So there's that. I mean, last match she had on Monday Night Raw was against Lyra Valkyria, where she took Stephanie's move seriously, unlike Booker T, who's short-sighted as always and also falls asleep on the job. Unprofessional. I mean, Niall, it's one of those things where, again, she's already challenged for the Canelo Championship, so I'm not sure what you do with her and the whole American Made thing, what she's done with that group ever since. It's just one of those things where to book somebody blank, you have to have purpose for them that makes sense in both their style and the character you're trying to present them as. So,
but that's another thing. That's another thing. I don't mean to step on you, Noah, but that's another thing with putting the title on a Natalya, because Natalya for these last few years has all been about making the next generation. Think about how she went down to NXT, the matches that she had. I still have the match that she had with Cora Jade saved on my computer. You know, you think about that stuff. So Natalya versus Ivy Nile becomes a thing. You could have Natalya versus Maxine Dupree and have her potentially lose the title to Maxine.
Yeah, I guess that tag idea.
You know, I know a lot of people think Maxine, they're like, I don't know about her, but who's going to pull the best out of her?
Yeah.
Natalya.
Well, that's why she wanted to work with Natalya personally. I think that was legit.
And Nick, we're not talking about Saturday night's main event. We're talking about Evolution. Evolution is going to be a PLE on July 13th. Yes. Saturday night's main event is going to run opposite All In.
But we've also seen on these PLEs, not the big four, big five, crock shit. They've only had 5 to 7 matches. So again, the jury is out.
And that's why I think it's all going to be title matches.
Yeah.
We'll find out soon enough.
World Heavyweight, WWE Women's, ICUS, NXT North American, Knockouts tag, WWE tag, Reina de Reinas champion. That's 10. That's a lot, but you can trim a few down.
You'll be lucky if the price is right and you get more than 7, especially in this new era.
We'll see. Mikey, you've been patient, had your hand up. Go ahead, sir.
The suggestion or thought that I had with Piper, why not have Piper and Alba team together if they're not already?
They already are.
They already are? Okay, well.
Yeah, they're the secret Hervis.
Yep.
So how about kicking Chelsea to the curb and just doing something on their own? Could that work?
It could, but I think they're getting over right now being Chelsea's heavies.
Yeah, they literally are over as a package. It's a package group that works. And they also have roots going back to Japan if you follow their work in Stardom like I did. Which I love them back as a trio. This is fun for me. And they're feuding right now with Selena Vega, B-Fab, and Meacham. So it's just one of those things right now where, again, sometimes you just don't know what to do with everybody. So what do? You just put them away until you need them for an over-the-top rope by rope because you need more bodies.
They have a lot of people. That's the problem. Like, I feel like, honestly, I know you guys are going to laugh because I always talk about Mamacita, but Lola should have been featured more. She should have NXT North American title by now.
Yes.
And like, Tuesday was her first match in how long? Dude, I literally haven't got to see her at NXT in a long time. I think New Year's Evil was her last match in the losing effort.
All I'm going to say, Walter, is you need to be like Axl Rose and have a little patience. Once they're done with the call-ups for this round from NXT, Lola's going to get shoved down our throats.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's going to be there for another year. But she's going to be one of the people that they're going to be hanging the division on.
I guess. I mean, listen.
Same with Jada.
Yep.
Miss Parker.
I feel that. I hear you. But you have multiple women's championships. I'm going to keep saying that and shove that down everybody's throats until WWE gets the hint. Either
speaking of women, it's our Canadian friend, Ash.
Hello, Ash.
I thought I heard the beep. I was like, what? And I didn't see anybody down there.
She's yours, she's mine, she's everyone's Canadian friend, Ash.
Me and Noah said the other day that it's like a sitcom jingle. Like every time he enters the room,
Literally.
Our Canadian friend, Ash. And then shenanigans ensue with her in the scenes.
This is true.
It's like Kimmy Gibbler walking in the room on Full House, but just our Canadian friend.
Just walk in the
Gibbler nonsense ensues.
Canned laughter.
Like, have a batty day.
Canned laughter and a
Right?
joke and a catchphrase. Anyway, hello, Ash. Good to see you. How are you?
Hello, nice seeing you too. Nice seeing everyone here.
Yes, good
We all
turnout.
appreciate you.
Go ahead, James. We didn't mean to cut you off, but
Yeah.
your bestie popped in. So
Yes, this is fair. Yeah, that's fair enough to cut me off for Ash to come in. But listen, as I've been saying, man, like I love that they have the titles, but if you're not gonna do anything with them and you're just gonna treat the women the same fucking way that you treat them without said titles, then either get rid of the fucking belts at this point because they're just taking up space that's not needed, or actually take the division serious and either hire somebody like a Gail Kim, who is a woman that can offer that perspective, or even a guy that actually gives a shit about women's wrestling. I don't care which fucking gender you hire, get somebody and hire somebody that gives a fuck. PSA over.
The problem is because they created these titles not to make women's wrestling better or to, get it to the next level. It was basically just to sell you merch. That's basically what they did.
It's another fake title for a belt collector that's going to spend $900 plus tax.
Which is fine. No, I'm not
I
even.
would even go a step further and to say it wasn't even about selling merch. That's just the bonus. It was to shut the fans up.
And they're still complaining.
Yeah,
because now they're complaining about how the division's booked.
But again, why is it like that? It's not like it's a fucking rocket science to figure out. Why are they complaining? Because they're not. Because a lot of the women that should be in these divisions are not being used, and in a lot of cases, as we saw, are getting fucking released for no reason when you need bodies for said divisions. So, no shit, people are still complaining. Like,
especially when you made SmackDown have a third hour.
Yes.
Why not feature the title more then? Why not? Did you literally shove the third hour down our throat just to have more backstage segments? Like it just have the women.
You have
give that first hour to women. Do something.
You have 2 3-hour shows and 2 developmental shows. You don't have an excuse. None. 0. You don't get an excuse from me. Good day, sir.
Technically, they have 3 developmental shows because they've got LFG, NXT, and Evolve.
This is true. So you don't have a fucking excuse. Fuck, you book this shit. I'm tired of it. It's like fucking Groundhog's Day with these fucking people.
Especially Ash, when do you have anything you want to add as a woman?
Sorry, what was the topic again? I kind of lost track because everyone's like going off topic.
Well, technically, everyone's going on topic. The bottom line is, how do you book blank in women's wrestling? Is women's wrestling still a debacle in WWE with the mid-card title pictures? And do you have a way that they can fix that?
See, that's the thing, because how much time are you allowed, each woman is allotted to? Because it's not just like, because yes, we have the women, but how are we going to make the time with the women? Like, whose matches do we cut and whatnot? Or there's always that factor in it as well.
Is it? I was gonna say you could just alternate and have 3 matches per 3-hour show.
You can, but then again, what match do you cut too, right?
Yeah, airtime is a key thing.
This is
you gotta figure that now that they've announced Evolution 2, they're going to be pushing women more heavily here in the next month and a half because they've got to build angles for said PLE.
Is that actually legit?
Yeah, they announced it tonight on Saturday night's main event.
Oh, cool!
just showed a graphic.
We get to watch it. Nice. Yay.
But they better put the women down our throats if you're gonna want us to tune in to Evolve.
Yeah, right.
Or Evolution, I should say.
If you're gonna make me believe in JJ's philosophy that WWE gives a fuck about overall the women in WWE and not just a selected handful less than 10 on Raw and SmackDown, while NXT has a deeper roster combined than Raw and SmackDown, booked every week on an episode of NXT, then this is their do or die for me.
Okay, I'm just
Looks like got somewhere safe. Says they pushed women a lot last night. Most of the first half of SmackDown was heavily woman-centric.
That's a good start. That's a good start. Dedicate 1 whole hour to women. That's a start there.
Yes.
I did like the promo that Nia and Jade and Naomi got to do on SmackDown. That was awesome.
To set up their Money in the Bank qualifier next week.
Yeah.
Also, I'm just saying this for comparison. Like, okay, you know how down in AEW, how the international title was booked when Orange Cassidy had it, and like how the TNT title used to be booked as an open challenge thing?
Yes.
Why don't they do that for the women's mid-card?
Because Selena Vega has no competition besides Chelsea Green, while Chelsea Green was able to take this title to NXT and actually be a viable, feasible, presentable piece on television.
Hey, Noah, you know who they could have booked against Selena Vega if they really wanted to push her as this fucking champion that they just released? Casey Catanzaro!
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That could have been a way, if they would have did your idea of the open, that could have been the way to bring Becky back instead of throwing her into a tag thing.
It's not hard to book, it's hard to finance.
And they have no reason not to finance.
That's always the thing. The time constraint.
No, and I get there's this whole time constraint.
I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just saying as a reason.
Legit, she's right. It's just business. You don't have to like it, but it is what it is. Again, they make $1 million and lose the penny.
But again,
and I'm still trying to figure out who James is talking about.
Casey Catanzaro.
You gotta remember he's NXT. Other names.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. Like,
no, I don't. That's why I'm asking. Who are you talking about?
Whatever the fuck her name is now. I thought it was still.
Chance.
Thank you.
I'm
Okay.
Sorry. Whatever.
I knew she was one of the KCs, but I wasn't sure which one. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah,
and that
James, not a chance.
Hold on, let me talk to you. He didn't grow up in the Black Gold NXT. He grew up through Rainbow Bright and what evolved into Black and Chrome that actually seems tolerable.
Yeah. Okay.
And now you signed AAA. Let's get some AAA female wrestlers because down in Mexico they know how to wrestle.
Yeah.
And you're gonna. What'd you say?
I said seriously.
Marigold also.
And it's gonna force the other people to step their game up because they're gonna be like, I'm not letting. See, that's why I think competition is healthy because they're going to be like, I'm not letting these outsiders come and outshine me. And you got to step your game up. They don't play in Mexico.
And don't get me wrong, I get it's a business. But when you do have 3 hours of television, you actually have 6 hours of television per week with the main roster. And then you have 2 developmental shows, technically 3 in JJ's point.
Yeah, that's
and they're both 2 hours. Like, there's just no excuse for this lazy bullshit.
I mean, they can eliminate 1 commercial break and literally dedicate that to promoting this woman is part of this show. Let's get a little bit more about her back.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like they're starving for money.
Well, you gotta fill Brock's wallet somehow, I guess, even when he doesn't do jack shit. Anyway, bottom line, Emmanuel, how you book blank better? You give a fuck.
Yes, thank you.
And now back to Renegade Wrestling, JJ Williams, to return to our normal conversation.
Gracias.
But
this is what I do, Ash. This is what I do.
But yeah, apologies. I wasn't trying to fuck with you, James, but like
No, I know.
Casey Cantazaro or whatever, it isn't a name, a real name, or an alternate gimmick that got thrown around a lot here, like Walter, like Elena
No, that's
Black,
fair.
like Priscilla Kelly.
So you genuinely
I'm unfamiliar with that name.
Okay, I did not know that. That's fair enough. My bad.
Yeah, it's all good, James. All right, is everyone good now on this whole debacle? Of,
Yeah,
I'm good.
Until we get another super chat on this on the comment side, moving right along. So
very good.
What is this? Gina said, Natalia said women should have their own show. I can agree with that to a certain extent. I don't know about having their own show, but I don't see any reason why if there's going to be 3-hour broadcasts, why the first hour can't be dedicated to the women.
Yeah.
Unlike how the first hour of Nitro used to always be dedicated to the cruiserweights.
Look at the WNBA and tell me how well the ratings did there. That's all I have to say. Next.
Fair enough. All right, JJ. So originally,
back to the women, because it is a woman topic.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
That needs to be brought up.
Go for it.
And I'm kind of glad we do have a woman on the panel now for it. But it got out a week ago from Saraya herself that at a meet and greet appearance, which it wasn't disclosed where it was. No, a turnaround, please.
I'm not dealing with the idiocracy, immaturity of humanity.
It wasn't specified where it was, but knowing where she was booked last weekend, I'm assuming it was the Ontario Comic-Con out here in my neck of the woods of all places.
Another human PSA announcement. Fucking hell.
But apparently some fan tried to plant a kiss on her on the lips. And it's just like, is society as a whole really so fucked up that you think that when you pay for a meet and greet with these women, that gets you a makeout session?
The answer is yes.
Like now, if I'm spending $40,000 on SummerSlam seats, then yeah, I better be getting a lip lock from Liv Morgan or something. But
hey! I thought you hated Liv Morgan.
You know what? She's still attractive.
It's just an example. It's
an example. Thank you, Ash.
I know. I'm kidding.
But you're going to these meet and greets, and you legitimately think that you have the right to make out with someone?
Dude, that's so wild.
Like, what the actual fuck?
Yeah, dude.
Never in my wildest imaginations, as fucked up, concussed, whatever that I have ever been, did I ever think that I could walk up to a female wrestler and just plant one on her?
Yeah, nah, dude. Nah.
Like the most I ever would have even contemplated was a kiss on the hand.
Yeah.
When you're shaking their hand, because it's kind of gentlemanly.
Especially if it's a gimmick like their royalty or something. Yeah. If it's
like La Princesa.
Yes. Yeah.
Like I would probably do that to Tiffany. But
God damn it, man.
What the actual hell?
Why do people have I'm gonna say it because I have the fucking pass, all right? So I don't care.
Go for it. I'll just throw it to you first, James. Feel free. Go.
Why do people on this fucking manosphere shit have to be so fucking retarded? And that's coming from the special needs kid. Like, Jesus Christ. Keep your hands to your goddamn selves. It ain't hard. It ain't hard. As Nito said, consent's important. God damn it. Stop this shit. And anybody that fucking, honestly, the best way to go about it is to either condemn them or treat them like fucking locals. And it looks like everybody's chosen the former or the latter. So good on you for choosing the right side of history on that motherfucker. God damn.
I find it hard to believe that this is something that even needs to be brought up.
Right.
And to the reason Noah's turning his chair, he's probably like, why are you bringing it up? All you're doing is giving this dumb fuck attention. And to a certain degree, I get his stance on it. But at the same time, like Walter's comment in the chat said, people like him fuck it up for the people like the rest of us.
Yes.
That actually respect the woman wrestlers.
Or just respect boundaries.
Yeah.
Yes.
As long as y'all have known me, and Ash, you've probably known me the least out of everybody on this panel, so maybe you don't know me that well. But to Walter, James, and Noah specifically, because Mikey, you and I go back, goddamn, 30 years next year.
Wow.
So I'm not even counting you because I know you know this. But Walter, James, and Noah, whose back is turned, how much do I respect women's wrestling?
A ton.
How much have I been championing women's wrestling?
Years.
To the point where I made sure we started covering all women's promotions?
Yes.
Did I not? Was I not the one that led the charge for us to start pushing Mission Pro?
Marigold, Mission Pro, Stardom,
Well,
Podermania.
those the Japanese ones came later as a result of Noah and his Japanese. We won't call it fetish, but his love for Japanese wrestling. But I was the one that really started pushing first for Mission Pro, and then everything just kind of fell in line.
Yeah, true.
And I just, why?
I think I have an answer to that.
Please, Mikey, please.
We live in an entitled and Karen-based society still in 2025. And there are those people out there, you see them on social media, you see them everywhere. They feel that just because they know their rights or whatever, they want that tiny bit of fame to show that they can use it. So with what happened to Saraya, I'm deeply sorry. I will apologize for the entire world sometimes because that's what I do. Okay. And JJ touched on it a little bit. We have been to, when we've gone to events, people will run up to people's cars. We're calling them out. Come out of your car. Come say hello. And then some moron decides, oh, forget this. I'm going to go to them. Next thing you know, the car takes off. It's just, it's the society we're still in. Why these? Now, the bigger question is why they do what they do. Who knows? If you can get the second part of that question, you're more genius than I am. But we've also said many times, there is a standard, there is an unwritten set of rules on how you're supposed to act. Now, had Saraya gone off, and I don't know the whole story because this is the first time I'm hearing it. If she gone off and clocked that guy, more power to you, babe. Good job. Well done. Defend yourself.
She didn't assault him, and he only didn't succeed because she pulled away from him. But she shouldn't have even had to do that. And if she had hit him, she would have been looked at as the one in the wrong.
Not in my eyes. No way.
Not in our eyes, but just to the innocent bystander who doesn't see everything happen, you just see this chick cock a dude. That's a bad look. I'm not saying it's not justified. Trust me, I'm definitely thinking it's justified. But you also have to, again, think about the society we live in.
What I will say about this guy is he's especially a piece of shit with Saraya, him doing this, because of her bullshit that happened with Del Rio, and the fact that she already didn't want to come out with that because of what people judged her about that bullshit. So for you to then go at it knowing she was not going to assault you makes you doubly a piece of shit, in my opinion. So fuck this guy.
Did she have some kind of security with her, or was it just her?
We don't know. It's not detailed in the description, but you got to figure most conventions have at least line security.
Yeah.
Making sure that people are lining up, make sure you have your item out ready to go, your phone's ready for pictures, blah blah blah. You've been through enough meet and greets, you know these things.
Yeah.
Whether she had personal security or not is irrelevant. There was probably convention security, convention staff, line security in or around her table.
Yeah.
Again, she shouldn't need it because you should fucking respect boundaries in space.
Yep.
Or he or anyone. Like, even for the men, leave people alone. They're still human beings. Yeah, there's fame and thing. It's like I said with the New Day when I met the New Day. I didn't bother them for pictures. I didn't bother them from any of that. They invited me over and said, "Did you want a picture?" Because they overheard me talking to my kids about how to respect them, and I think it like clicked with them, and they were like, "Dude, come here." And they kept messing with me the whole night. Like every time I bump into them like 6 times that night. Like Coffee did the tap on this shoulder and show up on this side. Like that, I bumped into them 6, 7 times, and they like fuck with me every time they see me. And I think it was because I showed them respect, and they thought it was cool. I've done that with several people, like Edge. I saw him at a restaurant. Me and my friend sat next to him. My friend was going to bother him. I said, "Dude, leave him alone. He's eating and everything." And he was on his phone. After he hung up, he talked to us for like an hour and hung up. And it was just like a respect. He saw it was cool, and I respected him. He passed me the menu, gave me his autograph. Same thing with Mark Henry. Didn't bother him. He must have overheard and respected me and hung out with us for a little bit. These people will give you their time if you show them respect. The problem is we stop knocking motherfuckers out. We stop spanking our kids. We stop beating people's asses. We stop holding people responsible for their own actions. We live in a society where people can just easily go behind the keyboard, talk all the shit they want, and get no consequences. Nobody knocks you the fuck out. Nobody beats you up anymore. Nobody punches you, because then you look like the bad person. The fact that we took that out of society makes these people feel privileged and entitled, like they can do whatever the fuck they want because they get no consequences. That's what happened in society. Keyboard warriors made everybody turn into these punks, and especially when it comes to respecting women, because, like I said earlier, the OnlyFans, some women project themselves and put that out there, and guys see it as permission to not have to respect them and to overjump that boundary. Saraya has like a little bit of a past, and we know what got leaked, but either way, that was supposed to be private and it got leaked. That doesn't mean you can disrespect her and step over the boundary because you think she, nasty or a freak, for lack of better words. It's just people don't have boundaries because of the computer screen and they can easily type and say anything behind the keyboard. And it raised a generation of a bunch of disrespectful punks. Yeah, and that's all it is.
Yeah, I agree with what Walter said there completely, and I want to kind of piggyback on something. And by no means am I trying to downplay anything here, but I think a lot of it falls on the quote unquote OnlyFans style community, where the women go out there and they put themselves out there on those platforms, whether it's implied nudity or it's bikini lingerie or it's full on down and dirty sex and gratuitous,
But even
women,
then...
hold on, James. I have a point I'm making here. Let me
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Women today, more than ever, throw themselves out there on a platform like that. And whether they realize it or not, they almost kind of invite those creeps because that's their demo. That's who they make money on. But at the same time, women should be able to do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
They should, if they feel comfortable in themselves to put themselves out there like that, then the guy needs to respect that, just like a woman that's flipping burgers at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Taking your order at Denny's.
All right,
Or
perfect.
ringing
yeah.
up your groceries at, Vons or Walmart or whatever. It is her job. It is her means of income. It doesn't give you the right to grab at her.
Yeah, no.
Just because she is, for lack of a better term, selling sexual content.
Exactly. It's called yes or no. It's not a hard concept.
Because Saraya has that past, and I do believe she at least had, I don't know if she still has, but I believe she had at one point an OF.
Yeah. Oh.
Gives, some people think they have that right because she's putting herself out there that way. So I'm not saying that maybe women need to stop doing that, but I'm also saying that if you're throwing yourself out there, whether you want to admit it or not, you are kind of inviting the pervs to get a little bit more comfortable with you. And it's not right, but there's a cause and effect duality to it, if that makes sense. And before you say anything, James, I want to go to the woman on the panel. Does that make sense, Ash, or am I out of line in my thinking there?
You do make an interesting point, because it's like the consequences of someone's actions, because at the same time it's just like, yes, there are women who do sex work and all that type of shit, but that's because they feel comfortable doing it, that they want to. It's just, yes, it's like they do get like simpletons and pervs out of their way, and that's not their fault, but it just comes with the territory of it. Like they're not trying to invite it; it's just something that happens.
Yeah,
and it's really sad what we come as a society. Is like, do people like lack boundaries, respect, and it's just really sad.
Well, to Walter's point, we are now in an age where if we try to whoop our kids, it's child abuse. Back when I was growing up, I'm pretty sure when Statboy was growing up, I know Walter's a little bit younger than me, so I don't know if it was still going on when Walter was growing up. The principal could get permission from your parent to whoop your ass at school.
Ooh, I don't remember that part, but
I remember that in elementary school. By the time you got to junior high, that era was gone, and I got into junior high in '88. Because yes, I'm that much fucking older than everybody. But I remember in elementary school that with parents' permission, the principal could whoop your ass.
This is true.
Wow.
It's true.
Because they are the authority figure at that time, the parents at work. And especially when you're younger, if you're not punished immediately, chances are you're going to forget by the time you get home what you're being punished for. So the punishment, the discipline has to be handled in the moment. Otherwise, if an incident happens at 10 o'clock in the morning and you don't get home until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and your dad doesn't get home till 5 or 6 o'clock at night from work, by the time he gets home and beats your ass, you forget why you're getting your ass beat. Because 8 hours have transpired.
Yeah, I mean...
And when you're little, you've got to get punished in that moment. Even nowadays, with whoopings not being a thing anymore, you still got to punish the child in the moment. Otherwise, whether it's a timeout or taking the toy away from them or whatever it is, You got to punish them in the moment. Otherwise, they're not going to remember why they're being punished. So that's why schools were able to get away with it.
I will say, I do think there is ways you don't need to use violence that would be just as effective. That said, the fact is something should be done where there is disciplinary actions instead of doing the shit that they're doing. And the reason why is because you got idiots like this running around thinking he can do whatever he wants and not get punished for it. And look, as JJ said, I get the whole like, well, you're inviting that attention. It don't fucking matter what job, profession they have. It's just a simple yes or no. It's not a hard concept. It's very black and white. It's extremely black and white as that.
I know.
So
I know, but
it's just as I don't care the excuse. I don't.
I
When
know.
you are told no, it's no. When you are told yes, all right, go for a fucking grab, whatever. Consent fucking matters. That's it. It's full stop there. And and the problem is, as Walter said, people that were raised on the, not getting punished mentality now just think they can get away with whatever they want because anybody that, is deems to punish their kid in some way now is getting, abuser getting fucking tossed around like it's going out of fucking style. Like, dude, grow the fuck up. Seriously. Come on. Jesus Christ. And I'm not saying you should beat your kid over the stupidest mundane shit, but you definitely should fucking have some ground rules, hard-ass ground rules at least. The very fucking least. And if they are doing some shit like this dude did to Paige, I'd hope he get his fucking ass beat. Because he should. Because he fucking deserves it.
It's the gentle parenting, man. People don't. It's like, oh, little Jimmy, don't touch the stove and hot. Fuck that. My parents are like, go touch it. See what happens. What did you learn? That's how this shit was when I was.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
That's like the easiest way to learn. Like your actions have there's consequences for your actions.
Yes.
Yes. Did you guys ever do this when growing up? Like when your mom first heard you say a bad word, you immediately got the soap in the mouth.
Yeah, that happened to me a couple times. Yeah.
I did. I didn't get the soap. I got tape, and then I got smacked.
Bro, well, it's funny because as you can clearly tell in my history of being on YouTube, that clearly didn't fucking work. So
It didn't work. I forgot what it was, but they used to put that molasses, that nasty stuff, and my mom made me eat that.
Yeah, I don't think that's very good nowadays, only because there is side effects of doing that. But it's like everybody like over exaggerates. It's like putting soap in the mouth is bad for their health. It's one fucking time, dude. It like come the fuck on. It's like it's bad if you smoke cigarettes one time. Yeah, if you smoke it one time, it won't kill you either. You just have to stop after the first time. It's the same fucking principle. If you eat the same fucking thing over and over again, anything, including vegetables, you'll die if you eat too much of that vegetable.
Well, you eat too many carrots, your skin will turn orange. I've seen that.
and then you'll end up like Steve
Bugs
Jobs.
Bunny was gray forever, damn it.
Well, he's a rabbit. That don't apply to human logic.
It's also a cartoon, Ash.
He did have
Bottom line is respect.
Listen,
there's a line, just don't freaking cross it because
Exactly.
you sons of bitches ruin it for all of us. Like now, she's gonna be on her pins and needles and be very defensive around everybody, and she might not even do meet and greets anymore because you want to be an asshole.
Exactly.
Or she already said she's making a handshake rule now. You can't even get close to her. Like,
yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. And by the way, Walter, I will say this. To get to the lighthearted topic, there was a point where Bugs Bunny and Lunatics Unleashed did have an orange tit.
Before I move on from this,
That's a shout.
before
I
I move on
haven't
from
heard about that
this,
show in a while.
Yeah, Lunatics Unleashed is a good show.
Oh man, I used to love watching that shit. Goddamn.
before I move on from this,
Sorry.
There is one person who's been very quiet, and I know his dry, witty commentary is going to make everybody laugh.
Yes.
Noah, have you got anything you want to say on this?
I didn't join this freaking internet wrestling community stage show of tomfoolery to try and turn this into a master's degree on human social ecology, acknowledging the mediocrity that society has become. Move on before I go to bed. You got 30 minutes left.
Fair enough. I will end the topic with this. On behalf of the IWC and California residents, I apologize to you, Saraya, for what happened, even though it was not I who did it.
Yep.
Please do not hold the rest of us in the IWC that are good people to whatever standard you've now deemed for these actions.
Yep.
At least I got my budget done for the next week.
All right. Before we move to the next topic, I feel like we need another watch-along trailer so that we can all laugh at Noah reacting to these graphics. We will be right back.
And now for a taste of things to come.
Every fan's gonna become two nights eventually at this point, seriously. And as always, here at the Super Bubble Studios, we embrace, encourage, emphasize, commentate, react, and criticize upon all the wrestling. And now back to Mega Wrestling JJ Williams. I forgot I had to get
I do gotta say, when you come off of a downer topic like that, seeing Noah pop at some of those images just makes you giggle. I'm sorry. It's the simple things in life.
Because he's the simple
man.
For those of you that are in the producer's side and can see his reactions, I know you get it.
Yeah, I get
For
it.
those of you that aren't, one of these days I'm going to have to just film his reaction because
again,
Jeff had done it once. It was Jeff that did it. But you'll get to the AEW, the Ring of Honor, the New Japan stuff, and he'll just be like all giddy. You're like, yes, yay! And then he'll get to like a WWE and he'll be like, There's just hilarity ensues.
And any of the sport ones, he's like, it's hilarious.
He's like, read my book here, my imaginary book in sports.
Actually, it's my budget book, and thanks for reminding me. I gotta remember, I got $600 I gotta put out for a new railing. Damn, freaking owning a house is a bitch.
Tell me about it.
So
you learn.
We didn't get to dive into this last week because it was karaoke and there were no topics, but we did lose Sabu about a week and a half ago. And I wanted to take the opportunity to reminisce on Sabu, share Sabu moments with everybody, And the first one I'm going to bring up is this.
No, we can't see you, Sabu.
Sabu, you can get on this side.
Come on over, Sabu. I'm being. See, earlier I said something stupid to him, and now this is my receipt. Okay.
Sabu's just sabotaging.
Yeah. He sure did. Yeah, he's taking over.
Hijacking is a better word. You're right.
Good luck.
Thank you, Sabu.
Now, when you get the. Wow.
Nice.
I went looking for that. It popped up. I messaged Renegade about that, and I mean, I don't mind telling the story again, but it's like Dory Lou and I went to Heroes and Legends 2024, and I kind of marked out a little bit when he got announced, and I'm like, okay, I get to meet a legend, you know, and in that moment, I was trying to tell Dory Lou about Sabu and Taz and their ECW rivalry, but I explained that Taz and Bam Bam had gone through the ring ramp, and so, you know, great guy, great. I mean, in character, you know, at all times he just didn't talk and all that, and he flat out corrected me. He's like, "You're talking about Taz. You're not talking about me." And I'm like, great. I screwed that up. I'm like, he's gonna like throw a chair at me or something. And the I don't remember who the person that was interviewing us. You know, we sat down. He wanted to learn about Stat Boy Sports Bar, and he interviewed Dory Lou as well. And he just came on over, and I'm like, okay, this is it. He's gonna get me. I'm gonna go viral. And you know, he patted me on the back, and he's like, good luck, and go on with your interview and do your thing. And I'm like, holy cow! I've got the blessing of an ECW legend after saying something stupid. I totally was redeemed by him, you know. And when I met him, I remember we used to frequent RVD shop in the mall, and of course RVD would rip him constantly. And he's like, you know, people would go up and say, you know, what's Sabu like in real life? Is he just as crazy as he is in the ring? Why doesn't Sabu talk? And RVD once said, the only time Sabu talks is when he has something to bitch about.
True.
Oh, yeah. And so before I officially put down my money and met him, I walked up to him. I said, you know, your boy RVD is talking crap about you. And he's like, what did he say? And I'm like, he said, the only reason you don't talk is because the only reason you start talking is when you've got something to complain about. And I saw him crack a little bit. I'm like, okay, once I officially meet him, everything's going to be fine. Then I said what I said, and so on and so forth. So, you know, great pioneer in ECW. I mean, super gluing yourself, taping yourself up in a match. Who does that stuff? Only a guy who loved the business that much and put his body on the line every time. And I think there was only like one instance. It was within that infamous like ECW promo where, you know, I think it was Benoit breaks Sabu's neck, and the camera picks up. He's like, "You broke my fucking neck," or whatever. You know, that's the only time I think I really remember him talking. But, you know, great guy, gone too soon, 60 years old, and I mean, he left us doing what he loved, and that was wrestling, you know. And I mean, the circumstances around it are sad, but you know, that's his life, and it was his time to go. And if he's being homicidal up in heaven, well, then there's a party going on up there, I'll tell you that.
That's the craziest sentence I've ever heard.
I know. It's 1:00 in the morning. I mean, what can I say? I'm in shutdown mode now at this point.
He's not wrong on that front, though. He's not wrong.
Really not.
That's scarily accurate.
Yeah.
See, me and Mikey were there at Heatwave 2000, the only time the real ECW came to California.
Mm-hmm.
And that event is notorious for a couple of different things, but the main reason is because XPW guys were in the front row and started some shit with the ECW guys. And this all stemmed off the fact that Sabu had just joined their company. And I guess Sabu had heat with Paulie or some of the other ECW talent at the time. I don't know all the specifics. I'm assuming it had to do with bounced paychecks or money owed or whatever. We've heard the stories about Heyman. But Sabu there kind of started some shit during the main event, which was Tommy Dreamer Just Incredible. And before the match could even get underway, like, they were starting to fight in the front row, and then it spilled into the streets. The match happened. ECW talent, XPW talent were out in the streets in LA fighting, or so the story goes, because people were still inside watching the show. They didn't go out there to witness this, but just knowing that I was there, that we were there when that happened, and then James and I calling what would effectively become his final match. Like, little did we know when we did Spring Break that what was being billed as his final match would legitimately become his final match, because it's the world of professional wrestling. How many times do people retire then unretire? And apparently Sabu was even saying in interviews that that wasn't going to be his last match. You know, he was doing interviews after the event and everything seemed fine, saying that, you know, GCW needed a gimmick, a hook, so they billed it as such, but it was never intended to be his final match, blah, blah, blah. But it ended up being his last match. And James and I were on the call for it. And it's just crazy to think about it now.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
True that.
Yep.
Yeah, very sad indeed. I mean, I almost want to ask, did WWE actually know what to do with him when they got a hold of him? Did they mess that up?
I didn't hear half your question. You were all muffled, and then you.
Yes, they messed it up.
I'd ask when he was officially in WWE, did they drop the ball on him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's a tough one, because Sabu didn't fit the WWE box.
No.
So I think they did as much as they could do with someone who didn't fit the stereotypical WWE mold. They were never going to make him ECW champion. Damn sure was never going to be WWE or World Heavyweight champion. You know, he's too scarred, too bruised. A guy like a Tommy Dreamer, you could still get away with. But a guy like Sabu, with all of those lacerations on his body, how do you sell that to an 8-year-old in a PG WWE world? Because you got to remember, WWE was very PG at the time. So how do you sell that to an 8-year-old? You know, don't try this at home. Mommy, he has cuts all over his body.
In a way, he was actually the perfect poster child for "Do not try this at home."
Yeah, but he's also, well, like, look at what he looks like. Why can't I look like that?
Why would anybody want to look like that?
Hey, people are weird, James. I mean, just saying.
I guess so.
So I don't know. That's a tough one. Like, it's easy to say, yes, they messed him up. I'm not so sure, though, because he wasn't going to fit in the WWE box. It almost falls into the, we gave him a deal just because type of thing. Anybody else? I mean, Walter, you said yes. What makes you say yes?
They just didn't realize what they had, and that's all it was. But you're right, he didn't fit the mold of the box. That's all it was. But they could have made it work. They just refused to do it. At least they made it work with RVD somewhat until what happened.
Well, and that was on RVD for being fucking dumb and getting busted, but
yeah. And look who he was with. But yeah, no, I talked about this before. It's just rest in peace. That the hardcore division or the matches we see Moxley and the crazy stuff that we think he does, none of that would have been possible without Sabu. So
yep, many people.
Mm-hmm.
Simi Callahan, prime example.
Uh-huh.
So that firsthand, the Under Siege tribute to Sabu, Under Siege, and of course heard Tad's heartfelt story on commentary when, of course, he gave the nod of ownership and respect to Sabu. Many people that wanted to go outside their comfort zone or wasn't sure that this type of style could actually, you know, be something relatable, feasible, sellable, and enjoyable, because some people are masochists. Hello, Ricky Starks and Jun Kasai, El Desperado. But yeah, it's literally taking on a lifestyle of its own. And innovator of extreme, why there are so many in ECW, Sabu was probably one of the greatest bringers and innovators of that very style we've come to know today across the world.
Yep. Amen.
Want to talk about people with scarred up backs? You need to go look at El Desperado and New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's been fucked up the longest time.
Yes.
He's the IWGP Heavyweight Champion.
Mm-hmm. Man, I love that crazy man. God damn.
Yeah,
even bloodied up, he's a beautiful man. I will tell you that.
Did you see the show that Barbara Sasaki produced in March? I'm grateful to be a referee in a deathmatch ring for 25 years in the main event with him and Jun Kasai going through every possible piece of glass you could fit in Corrigan Hall.
No, but that was recommended to me, and I haven't seen it yet.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm not Taz's biggest supporter these days, but watching him try not to cry live on the air kind of hit me in the gut. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a very rare moment you see Taz without the sunglasses, where that truly shows the emotion of the man versus what you may think of the wrestler or the commentator. Respect.
Yeah. You know, the fans saw me get emotional last week during karaoke at a couple of songs. You know, James witnessed it firsthand because it was just me and him, but
yes.
Yeah, you're not getting that out of me.
Yeah, we will.
No, you won't.
Yeah, we will.
No, you won't. Yeah, and I recently got done watching some matches from ECW. I saw the one night stand at that table spot with Mysterio. God damn, he's lucky he didn't break his neck. And then, of course, the return of Hardcore Justice to in Impact Wrestling, where he and RVD had one last match with that whistle.
Which,
by their
okay,
manager, Bill Lonzo.
You said earlier you watched the Spring Break. What did you think of what ended up being his final match against Joey Janela?
Correct, as I expected, but taken to another degree. And that's saying something by GCW standards, to say the least. But still, the fact that was his last match. Damn.
Yeah. I said it before, but that show has become like so special. Like when we first did it, I already felt something special because of being able to call a luchador losing their mask.
Right.
You know, and how often do you get to do commentary and you're calling a man lose his livelihood, his mask like that. Like,
And outside typically out that often.
I felt very, very special, something special in that moment. And then not even a month later, Sabu passes, and it's like this ended up truly being his final match. And it's just like, what already was like on a certain level for me has just kind of been exponentially increased now. And I don't know if James feels the same way, since he was my commentary partner on the show. But like that 1-2 punch of a man losing his lucha mask and then legitimately being able to call somebody's final match on the same show.
Yeah.
Like,
I get it.
No,
it's hard to put into words. Even though I feel like I am eloquently speaking it, it's hard to put into real words the emotion and the feeling in here that I feel.
I get it. It's good old JR says, and JR, please take care of you crazy boomer sooner. Tomorrow's never guaranteed. Well, here's your proof, folks. Be better. Treasure your families. Treasure the day.
Yep. Amen.
You eat your heart out, WrestleMania. There's a real couple of moments for you. Anyway.
Anybody else have anything they want to add about Sabu before we move on?
You said it all for me. Rest in peace, the homicidal maniacs.
Accurate.
I'm not too familiar with Sabu. Do you guys have any matches you'd recommend I check out?
Terry Funk versus Sabu. Barbed wire match.
Terry Funk, Sabu.
Born to be wired.
Born to be
RVD
wired.
versus Sabu. Insert match here.
Yeah, RVD versus Sabu. Taz versus Sabu.
Barely legal.
Yeah,
barely legal right there. Taz Sabu.
Yeah, the tag team.
Hey, Heat Wave 98. Sabu and RVD versus Hayabusa and Jinsei Senzaki. And then let's see, his match with John Cena, that was really good. That was a fucking banger. And
I feel like you've got to watch the Joey Janela one just because it was the final one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of TV shows that happened that week I haven't checked out yet. Hell, I haven't even gotten
with Rey Mysterio.
I'm not going to lie. It's hard to watch, especially now knowing it was his last one. And the controversy that surrounds it, which I don't want to go down that rabbit hole to Wonderland.
Don't. You're already pushing your luck with me.
But it's already hard to watch because of that and the fact that it's his last one. But I feel like if you're going to do a deep dive on Sabu, watch everything that's being recommended and then end it with that. Like, I feel like it was a good match for him to go out on.
Even though it ended in a draw, him versus Rey Mysterio was kick-ass.
I still thought that was a shitty ass finish. Like, how are you doing an Extreme Rules match and you stop the fucking
dude?
match?
It was getting great too. Those two were killing each other.
Same way they stopped the Hell in a Cell match with Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt.
Talk about that.
We don't talk about.
Hey, it's Hell in a Cell, not Bruno. Okay.
Stop.
And we talked about Bruno.
Old Ferry said best. This ain't a damn Disney movie.
Vince McMahon stinks. Vince McMahon stinks. He don't know how to book. Vince McMahon stinks.
All right, moving on. Don't get me started. You're pushing your luck already. I've already was pushed over the edge last night under Siege. Don't bring out the evil within me. Anyway, rest in peace, Sabu. I think Mikey said he's about to bow out, brother.
He did. So, Mikey, go ahead and do your plug real quick.
We already have the date for the NBA Finals. Those will start on June 5th.
Yes.
So we're coming back into the studio for the complete NBA Final Series 2024 or 2024-2025. So look, I'm really looking forward to that. I touched on it briefly when I got into the shenanigans tonight. We don't have a date just yet as to when the Stanley Cup Finals will start. But as of right now, the Panthers are getting ready to knock off the Hurricanes. They're up 3-0. And the Stars and the Oilers, they're tied at 1. So maybe around June 2nd or June 3rd. That's when I think that's tentative, but not yet confirmed. We're waiting on the league to start that. So can't wait to get back in the studio and get back into the sports bar for a little bit and call the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup Finals. And we briefly touched on it. You mentioned it during the show. Hey, I'm down to do the All-Star game this season with Mr. Reliable. Heck, we did the World Series last year. Why not? I say go ahead and book it, and as long as it's in the schedule, hey, I'll do it. Yeah, absolutely.
As long as it doesn't conflict with something else that we're doing a watch along for, one of our true bread and butter items, then I've got no problem coughing Walter up.
Hey, I'm down. Just we'll put it together and it'll be done. Great job on the show tonight, guys. Great call on Saturday Night Main Event. Finally got to sit down and actually watch something.
Something!
Because I'm the workaholic, I guess. What did I just set off? I have no idea. I love you all, family. I'll see you around next time. Remember, June 5th for certain. Stat Boy out.
And then there were 5.
And I do know that Walter said that he was going to be dipping soon as well, but we did get a couple of super chats that I would like him to give thoughts on before he bows out, if that is okay with him.
Yeah.
So Emmanuel with $2, final predictions for NXT.
That you and DJ will be covering.
Well, it's going to be a really great show, and the matches are going to be fantastic, and
Ash is so lost. You gotta watch more Simply Predictions to know what he's doing.
It's Christopher Rotz.
Shout out to Christopher Rotz, but
But that's literally the Christopher Rotz to a T. He's somebody that gets the prediction leagues, all the prediction leagues, Ash, and he is all usually see the predictions sometimes.
You know what?
He's a WWE NXT fan.
Okay, I will be honest with you guys. I didn't watch the NXT Simply predictions because I don't really follow NXT enough.
That's fine.
If you watched a Simply Predicting, you know
New
what.
Japan, your AEW. We know what your channel is supposed to bring. That's your heart and soul, and you'll be bringing more content like that soon enough, Dominion. So again, you know
what Rotz does? Like, it's like if you had, and I'm not saying he's like him, because let me be clear, he's not. He's a good dude, but it's like if you took Dave Meltzer and like made him 0.5 speed. Just because
it is going to be a good show. And I'll put this: don't be surprised if you see some shockers. Like, it's not as cut and dry as people, or black and white as people think.
Yeah,
there might be some weird, crazy booking surprises in there.
And Joe Hendry and Trick Williams, interpromotional warfare is definitely something that's unique to the business. And the TNA Championship on the line, the main event for WWE for the first time. I believe that's going to definitely bring some credit to TNA. They definitely have been on a hot streak with their shows being sold out. And continue.
Matches, respectively.
I mean, I'm looking forward to, beating up Stephanie's boyfriend.
Accurate.
They're so private, and they didn't even announce it. They're officially together. He just breaks the fourth wall. Like, I'm looking forward to beating him.
Okay, everyone reads the internet. Everyone knows. So there you go. I mean, damn.
Fucking hell. All right.
That was the greatest thing ever.
That
Like an
was
Oba with no chill.
Dude, Oba never had chill. What do you mean?
Matches, respectively.
I mean, I'm looking forward to, beating up Stephanie's boyfriend.
Stephanie,
man, like,
wait, she no-showed it. Look at her face. She no-showed it. Like, I'm gonna cuss this motherfucker out. I don't think she caught.
She didn't even turn her eyes. She just went straight, no face, stone face, and she's like,
She's like, I'm gonna beat this motherfucker's ass when we get out.
Probably could actually. If there's anybody that actually could legitimately get a fight and win, despite how small she is, I would put money on Valkyrie.
I wouldn't mind standing back here. I wouldn't mind seeing that intergender match if WWE was brave enough to do that. But WWE is too sensible, and they're not afraid to,
Just book it in GCW since they have a working relationship with them too.
Well,
Bloodsport match.
Yeah, Bloodsport
Stephanie versus Stephanie Vakir in Bloodsport.
First intergender Bloodsport match. God damn.
Bloodsport Pride Edition. Here's your freak attraction match.
Welcome to
I talked about respect to the women.
Miles
Had that subject, but you booked me against Stephanie. I put myself right into the devil kiss on purpose.
Oh, shucky ducky quack quack.
Oh yeah, man.
No. Get the core out, you fucking weak-minded simpletons.
Respectively.
I mean, I'm looking forward to beating up Stephanie's boyfriend.
Is that the decorum you wanted? Is that the decorum you wanted? No.
I mean, he's legitimately going to fight. I mean, he's not going to be wrong. It's going to be right.
This is true. This is true.
It's very true. Okay.
It's
Anyway,
going to be a solid show. I'm looking forward to it. Now, is it going to be better than Double or Nothing? Probably not.
I don't compare. I'm just
Probably not, in all honesty. Double or Nothing is going to be a phenomenal show.
It's going to be fun.
But it's going to be a solid
night.
Solid show. A good night of professional wrestling.
Damn it.
And don't sleep on some of these matches.
Yes.
Exactly. I mean, when Orton, faced himself in that SummerSlam where he wore the peaches, here
we go.
Did anybody think he was actually winning that title? I'm just saying, you can pull that off with Matt Bourne.
Miles Bourne.
Sorry, I'm looking at
Matt. I was about to say, when the fuck did Doink the Clown come back?
I'm sorry.
Excuse me.
I'm tired. Miles
He is
Bourne.
tired and said he was going to bow out.
Yeah, Miles Bourne. And how many people have compared him to Orton already? So
Who's he
don't
gonna
be
fight
surprised if he pulls out a miracle.
Who's he gonna fight next? Sweet Tooth, the Joker.
That's Samoa Joe, but that's a different company.
This is true.
Oh my god!
Then he'll fight Jason Bourne.
And then we got another super chat from Ray J's World.
More conspiracy.
Interesting that Evolution is happening now with WWE having partnerships. Just watched TNA, AAA, and Marigold send their female talents to the show at Evolution. It's always possible, man.
I mean, look, they're in California, which is a hotbed for Joshi wrestling. We've seen how many times New Japan particularly come over there, and there's West Coast and there's Prestige. So I guess I wouldn't rule out Marigold technically, but as far as I know, Marigold has done nothing stateside. Stardom has, so we'll see.
What better way to have their first stateside debut, though, than to send somebody from the company over here to test the waters, so to speak?
That's how you get eyeballs. Some would be like, "Oh, who's that? Oh, I like them. Where do they work at? Oh, they're working at this company. Okay, don't mind me trying to find them."
Yeah, that's true. I give you that. Again, I really hope that JJ is right, because I really want Evolution to be special, but this is WWE and this is the TKO over glorified conglomerated branding with underwhelming wrestling, so I'm not going to hold my breath.
At least suspect AAA females in there. At least suspect that one, because it's working. And some knockouts.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, let's see if WWE actually handles the AAA style, because as far as I know, WWE and AAA do not wrestle the same way.
We'll find out at Worlds Collide.
I mean, Fallon Henley.
Chad Gable versus El Hijo del Vikingo. I'm just saying, that's going to be a banger.
No, that's going to be a great one.
Legitimately, I don't know how WWE could fuck that up, so I'm looking forward to that.
And again, I'm just saying. Well, by the way, we just disparaged them. El Grande Americano. All right.
Well, no, it's actually going to be Chad Gable in the match.
Oh.
Yes, it's literally Chad Gable, name and graphic and person, not in the fake persona. Anyway, good night.
When they do Evolution, they usually bring some people back. Can you just get me Fatal Influence versus the Beautiful People, please? Just book that at level, please.
I mean, if Velvet Sky can even
wrestle last I heard.
I
She
don't
was
think this
retired.
guy's wrestled since Impact 1000.
Yeah.
Retired is not a real word in the wrestling world.
Shut the candle.
I suppose you're right. And again, that's streaming on YouTube, folks. YouTube.
Yeah, dude, that's a free show. WWE never offers free shows.
Right?
There you go.
Well, they'll have enough advertisements during it that I'm sure they'll piss people off.
Yeah, me too, Arlene. I'm pissed.
El número uno.
El número uno. It's like Fudaki being SmackDown's number one announcer. El Grande Americano, number one luchador.
He surpassed Triple A, I guess.
Yes, he did. Absolutely.
Moving
Greatest
on.
luchador of all time, surpassing anybody from CMLL and AAA.
And yes, I would put more matches on Evolution than I would on a Backlash.
Fuck yes, you should.
Because you treat it like a spectacle, like WrestleMania. WrestleMania had more matches on it than Backlash did.
Yes.
Yeah, each night.
This is a spectacle. For all we know, this could be the last Evolution PLE. So you've got to make it huge to make people want to see it again.
8 matches.
I say at least 7. At least 7.
It should be 8.
Agreed. That's the key number.
And I'll be real, like it's not like they're gonna have one every week. This could be the last one, so yeah, it should be 8 matches, nothing less.
Plus pre-show, 0-hour matches.
Yeah,
Will
so
they,
you get
actually
the full
have,
10.
will they actually have a match on the kickoff?
They did with the NXT show for Mania weekend.
That's true.
Dude, book a traditional like elimination match. I mean, you don't have to call it, but like a traditional Survivor Series, and do like AAA or something versus WWE or NXT versus TNA. Something.
You know who I want to see? You know who I want to see on this show?
Who?
Tessa Blanchard.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, me
You
too.
could start my little thing with
Is
Charlotte
she
Flair.
not, Noah, is she not a former Reina de Reinas champion?
Yes.
Is that not the AAA women's title?
See?
There
We'll
you
see.
go.
We'll see. Like I said,
That's how you work Tessa onto a WWE show to test the waters.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, the match with Ariana was a testing ground to see how she would work with the WWE talent. Now, if Ariana comes home and talks about how pleasant Tessa was to work with and how she took care of her and blah, 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 don't be surprised if we see Tessa cross the line to NXT sooner rather than later.
Hold out. Like I said, just gonna hold out.
Or the main. How long did I call Tessa and Charlotte working together? Just think, what is Alexa messing with Charlotte saying?
Yeah,
you need a friend. Friends for we're all. And people are just thinking, oh look, Alexa and Charlotte can work something. Nah, Charlotte and Tessa.
Yeah,
you need a friend. You need backup. She keeps doing these little weird teases to Charlotte. The 4 Horsemen line. Those 2 last names, they're there.
I agree.
And Nick, I love you, bro, but nobody on this panel gives 2 fucks about a Beyonce concert.
Nope.
No. I to be honest, Beyonce's not bad, but it's like hers better.
Chicken
HER
prices are bad. Tell you that much,
dude. All I'll say is she's overrated.
Lonnie Jordan
Hers
is her.
better. Haha, true.
Her
Her
got a chance to be next Women's North American champion again tomorrow.
for anybody who doesn't know her is a better R&B artist than fucking Beyonce is right now. So there you go. In case you're
Both are better than Cardi B. I'll give them both that credit. Anyway, moving on.
And Cardi B is hosting both nights of SummerSlam. But anyways,
she's gonna be in a match.
About any less.
Walter, you are going to be dipping out, you said. So why don't you go ahead and give your shills and get out of here?
All right, you could. Yeah, see, get it bueno, la princesa. Who I want to see her reaction, and she's probably gonna DM me tomorrow because she usually takes a little while. But this at YouTube at Rachel Wrestling, please get us to 200 because I'm hoping that it's JJ, me, and Noah that can get to. If it is Vegas, it's not officially Vegas. They're just leaning on it. for WrestleMania, but Instagram is walter.cruz.940. We will corrupt Noah. Damn it. That is the next goal.
Oh.
Getting enough
Leave him pure.
No. Purely corrupted. To X at Walter Alex Cruz, and then Blue Sky at Walter Alex Cruz as well. Thanks you. Yeah, please spread the word. Tell a friend's mother and father so that they can subscribe too. Word of the year.
There you go.
Get some good rest. And again, you and DJ have a great call with NXT Battleground. We'll see if you believe or if you whoop that trick. Have fun.
There you go, brother.
We'll see. All right, guys.
Peace out, brother.
Number 4.
What's next on the docket, host man?
What is next on the docket indeed? Well, a certain AEW wrestler.
Oh, no.
Finally made it to the top of Mount Everest.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, we definitely. Yes. Okay.
Now you got me actually engaged in a positive
way.
So what I want to talk about here is, first of all, what does everybody think about the fact that he actually accomplished his mission? And how quickly do you think we'll see him back? Noah, the floor is yours, my friend.
Crazy son of a bitch.
Yeah,
there truly is no limit to what Darby Allin can do if he puts his mind and his heart and his lack of safety for his own well-being to it. But hey, he still disciplined himself. It's an incredible accomplishment. I mean, if you really set out your heart and your mind on a goal and you do everything possible to get to it, you can achieve it. The only thing that limits you is your own capabilities and your own belief in yourself too. So I'm very happy not only that he succeeded, he survived. Now, again, how long does it take to go down a mountain safely where it might be tougher to go down versus going up? I have no damn idea. It's one of those things where, again, he has been part of pretty much every double or nothing, if we're being perfectly honest. Hell, we called Kyle O'Reilly versus Darby Allin 2 years ago. You thought that was a sleeper clinic. It's also one of those things right now where Darby Allin, he might literally be AEW's icon, considering he and Sting, they went out together on a blaze of glory, and Sting saw something very familiar about that place. It was Darby Allin. And I think Darby Allin and Jon Moxley have probably the deepest, longest history than any two people in AEW, if we're being quite honest. It's one of those things where I don't think Darby Allin's going to show up at Double or Nothing, but how many times did you try to book something that makes sense for a show that has not even been booked yet in Darby Allin's home territory, where the nightmare began, and where you think a dream's going to come true? I do think Darby Allin returns to AEW during the summer, and it wouldn't surprise me if it's either at All In, if not prior. But I don't think he shows up tomorrow. But again, congratulations. I'm just glad the damn guy's alive.
Me too. I will say, I have, as Hannibal did say, all Darby Allin has to do is cough and drop off the mountain. He'll be fine.
Are you crazy?
I have been saying it for a week or so. Darby Allin is fucking crazy enough that in his supplies, he packed a parachute and just parachuted off the top of Mount Everest.
Well, at least he'll be falling down slowly.
This is true. And yeah, he would be crazy enough to do this shit, to be honest.
Strap a skateboard to his feet.
Oh, Lord.
Do a kickflip. Do a flip.
Do some kickflips. Turn it all around. Land on the ground on his skateboard. Pedal himself into the minivan. Get to the airport. Catch a flight to Arizona.
I know the song. I know the soundtrack as Darby Allin descends to do the slowest kickflip ever. Dun, 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 dun. I fell. Dun,
No.
dun, dun, dun.
You gotta use the Foo Fighters. There goes my hero.
Watch your mask
as he goes.
When did this just become the cheap-ass, piss-poor skate ambition extreme video game by Ubisoft? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Hey,
For real.
who remembers Skate or Die? Pepperidge Farms remembers.
Listen,
I never mess with sports games. I'm a platformer guy, remember?
Listen, all y'all have to do is get yourself a copy of Skate 3 and just recreate Darby Allin and climb off to the top of a mountain and do a do a kickflip off it. It's that simple.
Unfortunately, James is also correct because James actually knows his video games to a degree, so he's not wrong.
Charles remembers Skate or Die.
There you go.
The next
That was,
remaster.
put it to you this way, Noah. That was an OG NES game.
Okay, fair enough. I was a Dreamcast guy, so I wouldn't have known that. I'm so glad they brought Power Stone back.
Like back when TNC Surf Design was a video game also for the OG NES.
This is true.
Yeah,
Like those were the two competing games. One you could surf and skate. One was just skate.
Gotcha. You see, you guys are Nintendo babies. I was a Sega kid, so that's the difference here.
See,
Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
That I do recognize.
Do you know? See, I got to introduce you to Super Mario Eclipse, my guy.
Super
Look,
Mario
I've seen Gav Smutters play Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario Sunshine. I played Super Mario Odyssey. I played Super Mario 3D World. I played Super Mario Wonder.
Eclipse is the only way to play Sunshine. Is all I'm saying.
It's already a hard enough game as it is. All right, stop it.
Oh, it's harder.
Programming. This is
Oh, it's
not
harder.
super reliable gaming.
We'll
Shut
get
your
there.
brain down. Shut up the arcade. Let's
Now,
get back
now
to the
that
topic.
Walter's back, we need to get y'all doing that again.
Yeah.
Even
yeah.
if it's just an hour or two after work, because the weekends have been getting so booked with watch-alongs.
And all the wrestling. Yeah, that's fair. Well, we'll figure that out a different week. And that being said, again, I got enough to deal with these two tomorrow with Double or Nothing. Will help me. That being said, Ash, do you have anything to say regarding Darby Allin's feat and when he might return to AEW?
Good on Darby for climbing Mount Everest and surviving, because I was worried that he might die, but good on him.
Right?
I think honestly, everybody was worried that he would die.
I'm happy he's in one piece. He did what he has set out to accomplish. That's amazing.
And a bus didn't hit him on the way. It's crazy.
Bruh.
Really, James? Hold on. Hold on, Ash. I think you've seen this before, but go along with me here. Damn it, James, you freaking idiot!
Yes, sir. Yes, me.
Prepare for that at least once tomorrow, Ash.
Oh, I'm embracing it. It's going to be fun calling all three of us.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose my mind with these two, and not just during Anarchy in the Arena. This is going to be a long night for me.
Don't worry, Noah. I'm pretty normal when we do commentaries, as evidenced by my be calling with me and JJ up for our Prestige show.
Fair enough.
You're calling it with me. You won't be.
It's come to expect at this point.
Well, Sandy, with all due respect, James, Sandy does love your and my energy when we do call stuff together. So there's that.
This is true.
I think Ash will help anchor James a little bit.
I hope so.
I mean, I can't make any guarantees, especially like that one, like the Friday shenanigans us three had together, how that went off the rails.
That's fair. But to be fair, that was shenanigans. That wasn't a watch along.
I know nothing about that because I wasn't part of that Friday. So again, we'll see.
Anyway, what are we talking about now?
Oh yeah, when do we see Darby returning?
Yes,
that's a good question.
Bottom line is, could he be there tomorrow?
It's a possibility, but I'm also if he's returning early, I don't see him until the AEW after Double or Nothing. Like he's maybe returning on Dynamite.
The Fallout, the coming Wednesday.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's the earliest I see him.
That's a fair point, too. I mean, JJ pointed out the 6 different specials and milestones. Summer Blockbuster, Fighter Fest, Grand Slam, Milestone Dynamite, Milestone Collision. And I think that's all they got for now.
And that's between Double or Nothing and All In.
Yes.
All those
unless they do Battle of the Belts.
Don't jinx it.
They're going to. It's always a quarterly thing. You know they do it. They're going to do it.
Have they done one this year though? I don't recall them doing one in the first quarter.
Actually, that's a good point. I don't think they did.
January, February, March. I don't think they did one in there.
Yeah, I don't recall one this year, actually. I think they actually might have pushed away from that. Good point, JJ.
I think what happened, and this is pure speculation, but I think Grand Slam Australia Collision
Ah,
took place of Battle of the Belts.
yeah, I think you're on point. I think you're on point there. I
Yep.
completely forgot about that, and what a show that was, man. Okay. Anyway, congrats, Darby Allin. Now get safely down the mountain. Don't get hit by a rock or a bus or anything else for that matter. And
Crazy.
return to AEW and finally fulfill your dream, your destiny, and what John Moxley said you weren't ready for last year, where now you very well might be ready for this year. Because I think everyone's had enough of the Death Friars campaign.
I think you got to come down with in the bus and come out to the Crazy Bus Mick Gordon remix, please.
James is an agent of chaos and disarray.
Both Nick and Ray J's World said Battle of the Belts was canceled when the rights got renewed. So.
Oh.
I was about to make a very mean joke about James, but I'm not going to.
I kind of want you to make it now.
want you to
Make sure we get it right. It's Battle of the Belts where the belts don't change hands.
This is
Hey,
true.
the belt did change. You know what? I'm not going down.
One
this
belt
road
did.
here.
It does. The rest of it still counts. All right, go ahead.
I was about to say you would know a thing or two about riding on a crazy bus, huh?
What Crazy Bus? Oh yeah, well, yeah. I'm not in a straitjacket yet. Yet. Yes.
You haven't been in one?
James rode the short bus to school.
I did. I did, in fact. Right?
He was the kid in the back going, "The wheels on the bus go round and round."
You know, funny, my dad, he used to be a bus driver before he retired, and as soon as he got the job, he's like, "Hey Ash, guess what?" He started singing The Wheels on the Bus. I'm like, "Oh, you got the job? That's awesome, Dad."
I'm surrounded by idiots.
You love us though, Noah. Don't lie.
I tolerate you all, but you all are definitely manageable.
I was the weird kid that was singing Linkin Park. I tried so hard, it got so far.
I was that kid too. I would be like 9 years old playing Pokemon Snap, singing Linkin Park, also screaming, "Why don't you love me, Mom?"
That is gonna be clipped out of context so hard. That is crazy. That shit's crazy out of context.
Yeah, 9-year-old Ashley was a sad kid. I should not have been listening to the stuff I was listening to at that age.
Hey, same, but I turned out. Okay, no, that's a lie. I didn't.
You turned out decent. You turned out decent. Let's just put it that way.
I turned out.
Wow.
You're functioning. You're functioning.
I turned out functionable. Yes.
Functioning on what level?
Yeah, what level we're here?
Some people would debate James's functionality.
He's thriving and surviving.
Yeah, I was about to say I am functioning on one chromosome at a time.
And he's still alive and kicking. Good grief.
Mm-hmm.
That's
well,
a good
first
note,
off,
so.
Ash, you are loved here, and we appreciate you. James, you're crazy. We appreciate you. JJ, I feel sorry for how many weeks you always have to deal with this too, but hey, good on you.
I should
Moving
not
on.
have said that,
Anyway,
please.
Darby Allin, congrats. Come to AEW soon, and once again, show us that title's in that briefcase and bring it back onto our TV screens too.
I didn't get to give my thoughts about it. I just
I thought you did, Mr. Skate Reference.
I was gonna say you were kind of piggybacking on everybody
Yeah, but I was
else's thoughts, so I
doing-
can understand why he thought you gave your thoughts. Go ahead,
I was doing
James.
comedy shtick though. No, I wanted to actually do a really cool thing for Darby. So everybody knows I actually like when he was about to climb the first time. I actually offered a prayer. I'm Catholic, by the way. Look at this thing. Yeah, it's a medallion and shit. So yeah. I offered a legit Hail Mary prayer because I was scared for his safety. Apparently it worked because he is now safe and climbed out the mountain. Amazing feat is not only has he climbed Mount Everest, apparently he is in fact the first wrestler to climb Mount Everest. This is a shoot, by the way. Everybody was trying to say JBL was the first. He climbed a different snowy mountain, not Mount Everest. He is, in fact, the very first professional wrestler to ever climb Mount Everest. And I think that's fucking cool. So anybody that wants to turn that, and I've seen people already do it, turn it into a WWE versus AEW thing. Throw that shit out the window, man. This is a victory for professional wrestling, and it should be treated as such. Congrats, Darby Allin, for such a fucking awesome feat. He deserves all the praise in the world. Even if we make the jokes we do, it's all in jest. Genuinely and sincerely could not be any more proud of that motherfucker, especially as a fan of this great sport we love so much. So, congrats, Darby. That's all I had.
Yeah. There's people that are joking that are like, well, we all know WWE's petty, so now they're going to send somebody to the moon to outshine Darby climbing Everest.
They're gonna bring back Max Moon.
And they're like, well, who would you send? Who would you send? And they're like, shit, they'll send Karrion Kross. He ain't doing nothing anyways.
Damn.
He'll start a new federation.
Karrion Kross and Scarlett,
Yeah.
they'll just throw them up there.
We'll have Karrion Kross and Scarlett. They'll take the Miz with them, and they'll start the Moon.
No, can't take the Miz. Number one, he's got Mellow Don't Miz, which is doing phenomenally on television right now.
This is
Number two, he's about to become the new host of American Gladiators.
Oh, okay.
So you can't take him away from that. But Karrion Kross ain't doing dick. So
Nick with a perfect suggestion. Almost to the moon, buddy. Almost to the moon. All my almost Sabians out there, amen. Yes.
It's just too bad that Cameron Grimes isn't employed anymore.
Yeah.
To the moon.
Grimes.
I miss him.
Trevor Lee's doing all right on the independents.
He is. He's doing phenomenally.
Can he get back? I do want to see his top hat back, though. Can he get his top hat back and vest?
No. I'm liking the new Trevor Lee. Let's not dip into the Cameron Grimes shtick. I'm liking the new and improved Trevor Lee.
Black and gold NXT when he was pursuing the $1 Million Championship. I'm just saying.
This is true.
All right.
Anyway, congrats, Darby Allin. Now come back to AEW and not only restore the feeling, take it back. As they're saying.
Gonna run the trailer one more time, then we'll come back with our final conversation piece.
Yeah, you gotta get that highlight thing figured out.
I know.
Now for a taste of things to come.
Again, outside all that, I know that we're probably going to do the G1 Climax 35 at least bracketology. There's going to probably be DAMMIT. There's going to be definitely probably some more New Japan. I'm going to try and figure out a start on pay-per-view. I'm back in the full throttle mode, definitely on the Japanese wrestling scene. But truly, that trailer encompasses, embraces, celebrates, engages, criticizes, commentates, reacts to all the wrestling. And now back to the Saturday Night Shenanigans, hosted by Renegade Wrestling, JJ Williams.
Yes.
All right. Well, before we get to our final conversation piece, Emmanuel Dominguez is with a $2 super chat.
Oh, good Lord. Now what?
Let's talk about the Dom and Rocks speculation.
I hate love stories in wrestling.
How Dom's about to become a Triple Crown champion and he ain't never won a world title yet.
I was about to say
Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Roxanne Perez.
See, listen, Dom. Just
listen.
Just take after Charles White and do the Godfather method and just have all three. Why choose one?
Oh, for love of fucking. And you lost me. Best of Junior's on today, by the way. Let's see here.
Noah, your thoughts about the Prodigy and Dominic Mysterio?
Do you have thoughts on it, Noah?
Judgment Day Saga free. Never-ending story on the reality show on Monday nights. Whatever.
And if you'd like to hear Noah sing the theme to the Never-Ending Story, Super Chat, $25.
Jackie! Let the fuck out!
I mean, hey, he didn't have to do karaoke last week, right, James? I'm just saying, like.
True. This is your punishment. This is our get back.
You bastards.
Anyway,
no one would be freaking PayPal or super chatting for that song. You can forget that.
Yeah, I was about to say, is there really much else that we have to say about that? It's like good for Dom and or like Noah said. I mean, that's really it's one of those two, really. Like, I don't know what else we can say.
Here's my thing with this.
Elmo.
And this is the song. Elmo's song.
Hold on.
So,
hold on. Have it on solo.
Hold on. Do we super chat Noah or you? Hypothetically speaking, of course. Hypothetically speaking, since this isn't an official karaoke night, me. Hypothetically speaking, Arlene.
Don't you dare.
So have it on solo shout real quick on Ash real quick with the Elmo doll.
Hi, it's Elmo. I like wrestling too. It's weird though.
That's all I got. That's all I got.
So here's the thing. Buy the t-shirt. You either end up turning Liv babyface in the process, and as anti-Liv as I am, she's better as this heel. Or you keep Roxanne heel in the process, and she's starting to get a smattering of babyface reaction. The crowd popped huge for her when she won the qualifier, and the crowd has been popping huge for Dom.
This is true.
Dom ditching Liv for Roxanne keeps Dom heel, gets him hated again, which may be the effect here, what you're going for, because Dom's been so great as a heel, but he's getting a natural babyface reaction.
He's getting the Eddie.
And now that Roxanne and Julia have split up, separated brands, and Roxanne is on the main roster, she's starting to get that babyface reaction again that she had before her heel turn in NXT.
Yep.
I don't know if you want to stifle that by having Dom go to Roxanne.
This is true. That's the only issue.
That's from a pure analytical standpoint, as Noah seems perturbed that we're even entertaining this conversation piece. That's my only issue. Is I would let Dom continue getting the natural babyface reaction he's been getting. And the same with Roxanne.
Yeah.
Ash, anything further you want to add? You've been
I was about to say this. It's like they're planting the seeds that what Liv did to Rhea, Roxanne's trying to do to Liv.
Yeah.
She's going to try to take her man, try to take the group with them, and eventually try to oust Liv. But who knows? That's all depends on where Dominic's going to lie. Is he going to stick with Liv, or is he going to go with Roxanne?
It's going to be a mixed tag. It's going to be Liv and Dom versus Finn and Roxanne for Judgment Day control, and Carlito's going to be the referee or choose a side, and we'll see Judgment Day 3.0.
I know you were joking about that, but I actually wouldn't mind seeing that.
Plot twist: Carlito gets all 3 girls that Dominic's ever had.
And Raquel.
And Raquel.
I'm part of the problem. I'm liking this Judgment Day shit.
Yeah, there's an audience for everything.
I like the Judgment Day still. I still find them very entertaining.
Me too.
I do think it's worn out its welcome to a certain degree, but I think as long as they keep evolving, then they can continue the legs here. The question is at one point, does it just become Finn and Liv, and they can look at each other and be like, we said couple of years ago that we were going to destroy the Judgment Day, and now we've done it because it's just us now. Because don't forget, there was that backstage segment while Edge was still around that AJ Styles, Finn Balor, and Liv Morgan, who was like an honorary Bullet Club member with them, said that they were going to take down the Judgment Day.
Finn
is in. Liv is in.
AJ isn't yet. That's fair. And he's already dealt with Karrion Kross, who's turned people heel before.
And Dom wanted to add a new member.
Yeah, how'd that work out with Penta? I'm just saying.
Yeah, but if they add AJ,
well, he talks shit about Penta.
That's the third person to fit in there, like running that callback.
This is true.
Something to think about.
Can we talk about one thing real quick? Subtopic. Speaking of factions, why is MJF being a part of the Hurt Syndicate such a natural fucking fit? And now I don't want to see them break it up now.
Because of the history of MVP, the cocky nature, the rich swag, and the tools to do absolutely everything in and out of that ring.
I didn't expect him to fit like a fucking glove, but
I did.
I did. Fits like big time. I don't think you can split this shit up now. I think it's too popular. I really do.
It's definitely one of the most compelling narratives that AEW has to offer every week that has been drawing audiences in, case in point.
So I'm just saying, keep it going.
There's a reason that DJ feels it's the best thing on AEW television.
They hurt people.
I agree.
People.
I agree. I love this shit. I love anything that MJF is in. I love anything that the Hurt Syndicate is in. I thought that those two combining would have kind of contradicted each other, but it just kind of gelled.
Just wait until Bob hurts MJF, and then you get Bobby Lashley versus MJF, because I guarantee you that's going to happen some point.
It was like it's like a peanut butter and jelly Reese's cup, which, by the way, is coming soon. James Try Things. That's actually the next debut. That will be the debut episode.
What about the KFC chicken and waffles? That was supposed to be the debut.
It was. Unfortunately, finances fucked me over.
Well, these chicken and waffles make sense as a friggin' delicacy.
This is true.
Well, the last thing I wanted to bring up as a conversation piece is Zoey Starks' injury.
Oh, I don't want to talk about this. Makes me sad.
That leg was worse than what happened to Sky Blue. God, Lee.
Yeah. Well, I hope speedy recovery. That's all I can say on that matter.
Yeah, me too.
The one thing I'm gonna say that's a good thing, and I use that very, very loosely, is that apparently my volume on the TV was turned down enough that I didn't hear her screeches. Because everybody keeps talking about the screams and the cries that she let out when she landed, and I didn't hear any of that.
It was really fucking bad.
Maybe it's because, and I don't remember if I watched it late. You know, maybe it's because I watched it after and maybe they edited it out.
Possibly, because YouTube does that, and I don't remember that either, because Last time I heard someone scream bloody murder was Sky Blue in that Carl Sheeta match last year at Collision. So seriously, though, your leg, your ankle's not supposed to bend that way. So, yeah.
Noah, look at the screen.
What? You!
Did you forget what channel you were on, Noah? If there's a will, the mean guy will find a way.
The mean guy will find a way.
I'll suck.
Which, thank you, Arlene, for the super chat.
Should be paying you like it should be forcing you to pay me like MJF forces the 10% plus from the Hurt Syndicate.
So here's. I don't recommend other shit often, but I did watch a video from the Busted Open team. It was Dave LaGreca and Bully Ray.
Sure.
And Bully very, very intelligently dumbed everything down.
That's a first.
So that people that have never been inside of the ring can understand what happened. Like, he legitimately, in about a 20-minute video, and I highly recommend everybody go back and watch it, he broke down like bit by bit where things went wrong.
Yes. Yep.
And what could have been done to change things.
Yeah.
And I highly recommend it. I know Bully is an acquired taste for a lot of people because a lot of times he can come off as very, very harsh. Unfiltered, maybe is a better word. But listening to him break it down, you really kind of understood the intricacies of what go on in planning spots like this. And it literally, I'm going to try to simplify it in just a couple of words, but again, I recommend everybody go watch the video. It came down to a split second longer. Like, if Zoey had waited a split second longer before jumping, everything would have been fine.
Well, this sometimes on the edge of the lightning bolt.
If Kyrie had turned around a second sooner, everything would have been fine. A spot of that magnitude, and this is what he compared it to. Shelton Benjamin springboarding off the top rope into HBK super kick.
This is true.
It takes that kind of split second precision.
Yep.
Now, if you remember the commentary, they were mentioning how humid it was in the arena. They're saying, Bully is saying it could have been just something like the ropes were slippery.
Yep. True.
Sweat humidity.
So it's, again, I highly recommend watching. I don't watch every Busted Open video, but I did watch this one, and I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah.
Best of luck to Zoey. Hopefully, and this is, I don't want this to come off as negative, but I know people are going to perceive it as such.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully this will make it to when she comes back, people will actually give a fuck about her.
Well, considering she was the only one not released, Shayna Baszler and Sonya Deville were released, I hope that you're absolutely right.
Yep.
No, she has been seriously struggling since her call-up.
Mm-hmm.
They tried her solo. She wasn't getting over. They threw her with Trish. Trish couldn't get her over. They threw her in the pure garbage collective. That didn't get her over, and the other 2/3 of the fraction have been let go, to Noah's point. Look at the response JD got when he returned. Like,
This is true.
people seemed to actually give a fuck after knowing what JD did to himself and the fact that he finished that match. Now, is he over like Rover? No, he's still not on that level. But people seem to care a little bit more about him than they did before he got injured. Hopefully this will have a similar effect on Zoey. And people will actually start giving a shit about her. Because otherwise, cuts next year. Bye-bye, Zoey Stark. And it sucks to say, but yeah, it is. It's the harsh reality of this business. If a return from this type of injury doesn't get the crowd behind her, I don't know what it's going to take.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, jeez, this freaking business, the worst and the best comes out of it in the fans and the workers and the analysts. So, good Lord, all freaking mighty.
What Arlene says, what is sadder is that when the camera showed her, no one cheered for her.
That was a whole different demeanor for Sky Blue, but we saw how long she was out, and legitimately, she was contemplating retirement. If you've seen the interviews her and Kyle Fletcher had. And again, she can't even turn that ankle anymore, practically. So the fact that she's back, hopefully the same can be said for Zoey Stark, at least in the comeback. Rather, the reception's there, and they do it in a hometown or do it in a big angle. Again, that remains to be seen. Get well soon. But again, Sky Blue was out for almost a year. So again, woo.
Well, her qualifying match was her, Kyrie, and Rhea.
And you and I both know that she was going to eat the fall because Kyrie just returned.
I almost wonder, and this is pure speculation, but with the way they're building the women's Money in the Bank, I almost wonder if the plan was for Kyrie to win. Steal the pinfall on Zoey, and Rhea kind of get left in the dust. That way Rhea doesn't get the pinfall to get hurt, because the only person who really doesn't fit into this Money in the Bank so far is Alexa. But Alexa's been gone so long that people are like clamoring for her to get that opportunity.
Previous Money in the Bank winner, previously cashed in successfully. So, I mean, there is that, but I do understand your point.
But you factor in Roxanne, Julia, put Kyrie in there instead of Rhea. This is all fresh faces for the women's title picture. And Alexa, a face that hasn't been in it for a minute because she's been gone for so long.
Yeah.
So I almost wonder if the plan was for Kyrie to win, pinning Zoey, because Rhea really doesn't need it.
Well, at least
And
right now,
then with the injury, Kyrie couldn't get the pinfall because, to your point, she just came back. So they had to rewrite the finish with Rhea getting the W.
yeah, well, at least I'll give WWE this much credit, and that's saying a lot, especially for me. First time participants so far in the women's Money in the Bank match have qualified.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that Jade is going to win over Naomi and Nia.
Brought to you by Wingstop.
Because Jade hasn't been in that title picture. You know, the fact that Charlotte lost so that Julia could qualify shocked the fuck out of me.
Right?
I'm just saying, like, I'm not sure who the Raw qualifier is going to be on Monday, but if there's another one of those like surprising names that are in it, don't be surprised if that person wins.
I mean, it's not like they have a lot of women left on the Raw roster, though, if we're being honest. Just saying. So. Or they might do what they did in NXT, last chance for the losers. So Natalya might still have a chance.
I think it was just you, Emmanuel, because I heard Julia got a pop. It wasn't a major pop. It wasn't a Roxanne level pop, but she got a pop.
Despite WWE mostly being filtered content on TV and on YouTube, there was a genuine pop for Julia, to say the least, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you could actually distinct when they edit in the filter and when you actually hear something natural. You just gotta listen real closely, or have Bluetooth earbuds. You have crappy speakers.
So, with that, that's the last conversation point. So before we get to the shills
and the singing,
fuck you.
Before we get to the shills,
got it. I thought
Noah.
I know
the theme to the never-ending story, good sir.
Fucking hell! I hate you all! Fuck, I never heard this song in freaking years.
So,
dead
in the words of the Road Dog Jesse James, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, here to sing the theme to the never-ending story by Lamal, the simple man with the spectacular voice,
hate you,
who conveniently decided to sleep last week instead of participating in karaoke, Noah Foster.
I hate you all so much. Fucking the Shadow Kicks and Declares? That's what this is on? That's the name of a YouTube channel. I didn't know this was on Stranger Things. The fuck? Oh, okay. Oh, God. Well, at least the short intro. Just see here. That is some of the slowest music I've ever heard in my life. The fuck is this?
Come on, James, mute yourself so he can do the thing that he's got to do.
All right.
Why do I endure this? Why do I fucking endure this? Okay, let's see here. Got it, and here we go. About 5 cents. Turn around. Look at what you see in her face. The mirror of your dreams. Make believe I'm everywhere. I'm hidden in the lines. Written on the pages. It's the answer to a never-ending story. Never-ending story. Fuck's that. That's all you're getting.
Nicholas's wife is singing along with you, Noah.
Oh, Jesus. Whimsical.
You may unmute now, James.
Whimsical fantasy nonsense.
Hey, that song goes fucking hard, okay? I don't care what anybody says.
That song puts you to sleep. Anyway, all right. Enough of that nonsense. He's still muted, so I think his brain's broken. Close this thing out.
I told him he could unmute now.
Hi. Sorry.
Yeah, you're fine. Things I do for friends. You're welcome, JJ and Arlene and freaking Saturday Shenanigans community and Ash. Anyway, Ash James, see you for double or nothing. I expect nothing but the absolute utter nonsense of what we just contains in line. JJ, close this thing out so I can get the best experience.
Look at Arlene's comment.
Indeed.
I agree.
And just remember, subscribe to Rage or Wrestling so that we can get Noah to Vegas so we can get him lit and laid.
The fuck, JJ?
Well, at least you have a good graphic.
JJ is doing way too damn much. To the point that people could say something and it covers my name perfectly. Find me if you choose, then Foster 1916 for all things.
Something!
Yeah,
I got you back, bitch.
about to say, James, you're finally literally adapting to your own hell. Well,
Yeah, a little bit.
Anyway, there it is. There it is. Charles friggin' beating it to it. Find me to choose in Fox 1916 All Things Wrestling. I host Simply Predicting. I keep up with prediction leagues. I continue to endure your utter madness here on the Saturday Shenanigans, in and out of the Super Bowl Studios content and watch along streams, including karaoke. Fuck that shit. Never singing that song again. And again, we will see you for Double or Nothing, or at least I will see you for Double or Nothing when I'm on the call with James Hebert and for the first time ever, our Canadian friend, Ash, for a first-time 3-person panel in AEW. Until then, as always, treasure your families, appreciate today, tomorrow's never guaranteed, and be better, especially humanity. Be better. It's as simple as that.
All right, James.
It's me, and there's my graphic. You guys can find me on the YouTube, Instagram, and X at JHubert95, and on Facebook at JCHubert. I'm really cool and done things on the internet. I have Let's Plays now. I do a character select for single player Let's Plays. As character select, I'm playing Super Mario Eclipse, which is a Sunshine ROM hack. And it's basically an expansion of the Sunshine story. And basically the Eclipse team, which I am now in contact with, expect an interview coming soon with those folks, basically expanded on this amazing story and actually made it complete and cohesive. And yes, you start at the castle in that cool training area, and you get to explore the Isle of Delfino and free roam the shit, which is really fucking cool. The only downside is the levels are as hard as they ever have been. So yeah, if you want to see me rage, this is the fucking series to see me go nutty in. So go ahead and check that out. Part 6 and 7, respectfully. The Road to Bantissimo and the hotel comparisons are going to be live on YouTube. It's the first time I'm actually going to be live on my YouTube channel in over like 2.5 years. So yeah, live streaming that. Yes, I know you watch, Charles. You know what I mean. So yeah, be able to look up for that. And yeah, if you want to see me rage and lose my shit at a video game and laugh about it, go ahead and watch it. Still a great game, 10 out of 10.
And if you want to see raging next year, if we get Walter to 200 subs, then Noah and Arlene can do karaoke together in Vegas.
This is true.
Oh, for the love of God, will you stop the Vegas campaign?
Okay. We've got to find some kind of cutesy guy-girl duet if we actually can get to 200 subs to just make it like warm and fuzzy.
Yeah.
You know, something like Sonny and Cher, I Got You, Babe, or something like.
Yeah.
I just think it would be hilarious.
Summer lovin'.
There you go.
Yes.
You're not getting a warm feeling out of me. I don't wear black suits simply because.
That would be Rage of Wrestling, Nick. As a matter of fact, let's throw Walter's graphic up one more time.
There you go, right there. Go subscribe
to Walter on YouTube at Rage of Wrestling, and then you can follow him on Instagram, walter.cruz.940, and on X and Blue Sky at Walter Alex Cruz. Walter is the one. We are trying to get to 200 subscribers, and when we get there, his wife has said that she will send him to Vegas next year. So, and he will get to pick somebody from the team to go with him. Originally, when it was looking like it was going to be New Orleans, I was the one that was getting thrown around a lot to go. But now that the heavy rumor is that it'll be back in Vegas, which is a hop, skip, and a jump for me anyways, we're trying to get Noah there because the simple man probably won't get to Vegas another way. So get him to Vegas, go to WrestleMania, go to Stand and Deliver, get to go to some of the peripheral shit. Nick is now subscribed to Rage of Wrestling. That's one less subscriber we need.
Good Lord. And subscribe to her channel because she deserves it the most. She's the youngest one here. Her channel's in the new beginning, in her genesis.
Well, Ash, why don't you tell people about that?
Yeah, follow me on X, the app formerly known as Twitter, at ShadowBadAsh. You can find me occasionally speaking, mostly listening as in the spaces. And don't be a dickhead. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Batty for Wrestling.
Yes.
Come part of Batty's Army. And I'm sure a lot of people will definitely subscribe to your channel during the watch along when they get your analysis during our watch along Double or Nothing.
Elmo tells you, don't be a dickhead, subscribe!
That's right. Like Arlene says, tell your friends too. And then for me, your host with the most.
That is a brilliant graphic, I'm not going to lie.
That's the best-selling Mercedes Monet has done in 2 years.
Tell us how you really feel, man.
Dude, that isn't even scratching the tip of the iceberg of how I really feel. But you can find me on X at ROWJJ Williams and on Casa D18 Studio. Casa D18 Studio is the one where I traditionally participate in and host the spaces. Subscribe to me on YouTube as well as Casa D18 Studios. S on the end of the YouTube, no S on the end of the X account. And then you can find me on Instagram, the Renegade JJ Williams.
All right, then.
We did it.
Apparently you scared the shit out of Charles with that Elmo voice.
Yeah, people are crazy that they can go to that high octave, man. That's crazy.
What we need to do is do a video of Ash holding up the Elmo, you know, with her like off camera, but just holding it up on the camera, and you doing the Elmo voice, telling people to like subscribe to Batty for Wrestling, and then we can make that like a little video.
Subscribe to Batty!
This is becoming too
Don't
much.
go, Batty!
Curse to Rage Rising, Sesame Street, Pokemon are two of the worst things still going in pop culture today. And this stream.
The last thing I want to show very quickly, premiering Tuesday, May 27th, the No DQ Roundtable will be premiering on the No DQ YouTube channel. Wrestling's hottest, most audacious takes. So what this is Aaron Rift from No DQ, the webmaster general, if you will, the big boss man.
Yes.
Threw it out to the galaxy of people that wanted to participate in a brand new show. And people that responded then got to ask questions of the other panelists. We then sat down, filmed our answers to each person's question, and submitted the video. And Aaron's going to be uploading a new video, I believe either every week or every other week. I'm not sure his timetable yet. He hasn't specified. But a new video where each member of the panel answers the question for the week. So I know his question was something to the effect of Hulk Hogan being the most overrated person of all time. His show, his website, his YouTube channel, he's got the first question. So you're going to see everyone that's going to be part of the roundtable answering that question. And then the next week, it'll be a different person's question. I know Noah's participating. I'm participating. I think Walter's participating. You know, other people in the No DQ galaxy are participating. So, you know, like next week, it might be Noah's question. And then you'll get everybody answering Noah's question. The next week, you may get my question, everyone answering my question, and so on and so forth until we run the gamut of everyone's question that's been submitted. And then we'll repeat the process and we'll all film. So it should present for a good, how many people do you think signed up, Noah? Like 10 people, a dozen people?
Close to 10 probably, I think.
Yeah, so probably should set up for a good 10 weeks, give or take, of videos before we have to do the next cycle. So
yeah, true.
Be on the lookout for that. Again, that will premiere this Tuesday. I'm not sure what time the boss man has it scheduled for. Probably either 7 or 8 Eastern, 4 or 5 Pacific, as that's usually what time the No DQ review is. So I would assume it's probably going to be going live then, since the review is going to be Thursday this week instead of Tuesday. So that would be my guess, but just make sure you pay attention to the No DQ YouTube channel for the video and see my response, Noah's response, and other people's responses to the questions each week.
Fair enough.
And with that being said, I want to thank everybody for joining us for this week's episode of the Shenanigans. I want to thank Statboy for joining us. I want to thank Walter for being there for as long as he was able to be here. I want to thank Gino from the No DQ Galaxy for popping in both pre-show for the watch along and joining us for a little bit here on the Shenanigans in order to talk about his Saturday night's main event experience. Gino's another one. I'm sure he'll be featured on the roundtable. Ash, of course, our Canadian friend. Ash, thank you for joining us and injecting some life into this otherwise sometimes humdrum panel.
You're welcome. Anything I can do to put a smile on people's faces, whether it be like from my own silliness or not.
I definitely look forward to going back and watching the three of you cover Double or Nothing tomorrow and see how many times Noah goes to rip his hair out. So
it's okay, Noah. I'm actually pretty normal when it comes to like commentary. You actually get kind of like serious, Ash, with a little mix of funny haha here and there.
Just don't be afraid to open up and jump in there. You know, you did a good job when you did the prestige thing with me. These two, when they get on a headset together, can dominate the conversation. So do not hesitate to be like, James, shut the fuck up. I want to say something. You know, and he will shut up or put it in the private chat in the StreamYard there. Be like, hey, I got something I want to say here. Let me talk, you guys. Like, don't be afraid to interject yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Because outside pinfalls and decisions, I am definitely going to ask you for unique takes, but I also expect you to interject.
Indeed. Me too, more than likely. So we'll definitely include you.
So thank you, James. Of course, thank you, Noah, for being here and enduring the shenanigans for an entire episode.
Well, you
did not get out early,
so it worked out. You did a good job.
Thank you. I tried. To the 14 of y'all out there that are still watching, on at least one person on every channel, thank you for the love and the support. Thank you to the super chatters, specifically Arlene Dominguez and her brother Emmanuel Dominguez, as well as Ray J's World. Yes, the Dominguez definitely coming through tonight. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel as always.
Fuck karaoke.
And until next week, don't worry, Noah. I'm going to come up with something good to do for June. I don't know what I'm going to do yet for June. July has been set. July is going to be Disney karaoke again. So get ready to sing your little Disney songs.
No.
Yes.
Start hanging out with your precious little Ella so that you can watch some Disney movies and get up on the new songs. But
no.
Yes.
I'll make sure to come up with something good for June though as well. But thank you all for joining us and tuning in. And until tomorrow, with our double feature coverage of watch-alongs, have yourselves a good evening.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good night, folks.